What's good, people? Holy shit. What is good? Let me know if y'all can hear me in the chat. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Today, we about to go over some things. All right? I'm going to teach y'all some things today. Hold up. What is going on with this camera? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We looking sharp today because today I'm going to really teach y'all how to get some money, people. That's right. I'm going to teach y'all how to really make some money out here. That's right. I'm going to teach y'all not only how to be successful with people financially, but also with dating. And I'm going to teach you guys something a lot of these people should be teaching you, but they haven't. So we're going to get into it. Let me figure out what's going on with the camera real quick, folks. All right, because a lot of this stuff, it's a lot easier than you guys can really imagine. Real talk. All right. Some of these stuff that they hide behind courses, behind paywalls and things like that. Then don't get me wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think it's high time that I apply my knowledge that has gotten me to where I am to you guys. So you guys can also learn from this and be successful in your own lives. Okay. Because listen, there's a lot of shit and noises that are out there. And when y'all hear the game I'm about to drop for y'all. All right, when y'all really see how this shit really goes down, you would be kicking yourself in the goddamn head about how mind-numbingly easy all this shit is. All right. So when I tell you that y'all need to go out there and chase the real world and face it, right? Deal with it. Don't worry about all these damn courses. Don't worry about all these damn nonsense these people are trying to teach you. Just go out there and learn from yourself, right? Stop selling and go out there and win. And that's what this episode is going to be about today, people. All right. I want to teach you guys, all right, particularly men, but men and women, because this is going to be directed towards you guys. I want to teach you guys how to stop selling, all right, and start winning. Because a lot of you guys right now, you think you're winning, but you're not. You're not. A lot of you guys out there, you guys are doing nothing but selling. All right. And I'll break it down the difference between what is selling and what is winning. Because some people think that they're winning out here, but bruh, you're really just selling. You ain't winning shit. You just selling. All right. So we're gonna take today to really help you guys hone in on that knowledge. And here's why I think this is important. All right. All right. Then we're gonna get into a little bit of sales. Okay. A little bit of sales. I'm gonna turn you guys into absolute sales demon. All right. Listen, dude, I would tell you this, and I'm gonna break this down because I made my bones in the car business. All right. And on that, not only cars, I sold other things like financial products and assets and debt products too as well. All right. I've had clients, I've sold high ticket items. I can help y'all. But here's the most important thing. It's not just the skills that's going to help you guys make more money, right? Not even a monetary aspect of it. But as you guys go through it, you will start to see a lot of the interpersonal communication skills that is absolutely necessary for your success. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and get into it. Oh shit, we see y'all in the chat. What's going on? What is going on? The house is in today. All right. Zenkuro, I see you in here. Vega, what's good? What's good? Sure, Primo 6, what's happening? What's happening? He says, Fresh put out a new high value man montage on his channel. Oh man, the Fresh and Fit crew. I mean, what do you expect? You know, they're gonna teach you how to be high value or great value. All right, that's what they are over here. So they'll teach you all of that and more. See, listen, over here, okay, we don't even talk about the high value stuff. All right, we talk about y'all being winners. All right, because all this nonsense these dudes are doing, all this that they're catering to a bunch of people who are losers. All right, let's just be real. All right, that's what it is. And I don't want y'all to like really don't take offense to this. Really, don't take offense to this. You guys are losers. Real talk. All right, because what I'm about to break down today, you guys can see the difference between if that's something that high value people do, or is this something that you really can go without? And if you take some of those skills these folks are teaching you out into the real world, are you actually going to be successful? We'll find out. So let's bring this up here for a second. All right, I'm going to swap some screens. See if that'll work. Hold up 1 second. 1 second, people. Get some technical difficulties going. Hold up. Hold up. All right, that should do her. That should make it good. Primal's in the house. The Winter Fox 10. How you doing? Pink Caramel Podcast. How y'all doing? Poppy Blanco in the freaking house. Bernie's in the house. How you doing? Side 3 was good. Was good. Otto Octavius, welcome to the chat. Hey, listen, bruh. We got to step our game up. We have to, dog. Hey, listen, I got a whole line of these shit. Y'all don't know. I used to be in banking. All right. I did private banking for a little bit, I think for about 2 years. And essentially, bro, when you're dealing with people who got money, all right, you got to look the part. Okay. Listen, when they talk about the stuff, when Kevin Samuels talk about the stuff with the suits and the cologne, let me just say this. When you get into that kind of world, there's a point to that. Okay. You got to dress and look the part. You ain't coming out here dressing like a boy with the hat. I can't. Listen, man, the occasion when you got the hat on, you got the jacket slicked back and everything, but there are other occasions where you got to also dress for the part, right? Especially if you want the deal. If you want to close the deal, you got to be able to dress like it. So yeah, we wearing suits now, okay? But don't get used to it, all right? Because I don't like to be wearing these things, okay? Because my number one mantra is people who wear suits go to work for people who don't, okay? So I'd like to be the person who, have people wear suits to come work for me, okay? So that's the kind of mentality that we want to be breeding out here, okay? So let's get to you. But I appreciate you being on here, all right? I'm here. Pink Caramel says I'm here supporting y'all. Just off bad ear infection. Oh, hope you get better, man. Z Cruz, welcome to the building. Rodrigo Garcia, it's all blurry. It's just me. Let me know if it's still all blurry so I can go ahead and fix that. All right. I tried to do that. Good Daisy. He says Duke looks like he's about to sell me insurance. I used to sell insurance. I absolutely did. I used to sell insurance. Actually, some of those principles that we're going to go over that I learned in insurance sales, we're going to also apply it to this because you guys will be surprised how much sales actually applies to everything that you do in the real world. That's why you ain't hear some people out there that even talk about, even talking about dealing with women, right? And you guys keep this in mind because this is going to come later so we go throughout the program. When it comes down to dealing with women, right? What do you hear a lot of these guys talk about, right? It's just a numbers game. You got to go out there and DM as many girls as you can, okay? Who cares about the quality? All right? It's all about the numbers, okay? So if you DM 1,000 chicks, well, at least if you can close 10% of that, you'll be good. All right? It's just a numbers game. Don't worry about it. Let me tell you this. All right? You go out there with that kind of idea, you are selling. And by definition, you are losing and you are not winning. People who have that kind of mentality don't win. They just sell. All right. So I'm here to teach you guys how to be winners because I'm going to tell you this, man. Some of the skills that you guys about to learn here is going to help you guys be extremely successful. Extremely successful. Side 3 says, Zikru says, it looks fine now. Okay, good. I hope so. All right. Pink Caramel. I used to work for an insurance company. Hell yeah. Well, Otto Octavius. First of all, I appreciate it, but I don't think it's a scam, dude. It's not a scam. I guess the stigma within insurance is that people tend to think because you're paying for something that hasn't happened to you yet, right? You're paying for the possibility that if it happens, you have coverage. So a lot of times people see that they're putting their money in these different things, right? In this pool, overall risk pool. So that way other people who are more higher risk can kind of, benefit and get the payouts and whatnot. But if you're generally, fine and cool to you, it may seem like a scam because you're not directly benefiting from it yet, but it's not. Because with insurance, here's a crazy thing. It's better to need it and have it than to need it and not have it. Just saying. All right. So here's the thing. One thing when I was working in, especially when I sold life insurance, the biggest problem that I would see is that parents, especially when the spouse passes away, or even we had a situation here years back in Madison where our parents got killed in a car accident, right? And essentially what happened was like they didn't have anything set up, no insurance, no plan, no nothing. And what ended up happening is they ended up having to go to places like GoFundMe. They had to go basically hat in hand, go asking family members to go ahead and put something in the pot because their parents weren't prepared enough to make sure that they got things handled after they died, or if that would have happened to them. This is something that y'all got to be thinking about. But we're not going to talk about insurance. We're just saying, right, unless it happens to you, you're not really going to see the benefit. Unless it happens to someone close to you, you're never really going to understand the benefit. So insurance isn't a full-on scam. All right, it isn't. Okay, you got to really look at it for a second, especially when we talk about life insurance. That's a lot of things that people don't even like to think about. I can even tell you this, man. Most people don't even like to have conversations about it. I can tell you right now, majority of people watching right now don't even have wills put together. Don't even have. Here's another thing, right? Because I don't even hear the manosphere talking about this, but long-term care. Long-term care insurance. That's some big expensive cost. It's going to be costing a lot of you guys by the time you start getting older, especially now that people are living longer. That is something that people aren't thinking about. So all y'all single ladies, all y'all MGTOW single dudes that want to take your ball and go home, you better have something there. You better have something put together, because guess what, baby? By the time you get old and you can't work no more, well, someone's going to have to take care of you. And if we're all perfectly okay living alone, if we're all perfectly okay not having anyone around and just doing our thing, well, guess what? You got to figure out how you're going to take care of yourself by the end of life. And when you can't work anymore, these are things people aren't thinking about. Young people aren't thinking about it. Even people who are older aren't thinking about this, right? How are you going to take care of yourself when you aren't physically able to take care of yourself? How are you going to be able to afford it? And this is the kind of thing that people don't think about. So when we talk about bringing people together, when we talk about families, when we talk about building legacies, when we talk about all these different things and aspects, when we talk about going through life, you have to understand these things matter, because in the end, if you think that you're going to go through this alone, most of y'all don't even have the amount it takes to retire. Most of y'all, let's just face it, y'all going to be working for a long time. But don't worry. Don't worry. Y'all in the right place. I'm going to give you guys the tools, and we're going to turn this into a Running Monday series too. I'm going to give you guys the tools on how you can be successful in selling, okay? So it's not like you selling water. You can sell anything. Anything you put your mind to, you can do it, right? So the first things first, you got to understand is that a lot of people right now, they're doing what's called selling. That's what a lot of people are doing. A lot of people are selling. A lot of people think that they're winning, but you're not really not. You're selling. And we're going to go into the difference between what's selling and what's winning, all right? Because the reason why people think that they're winning when they're selling is because they take the little nuggets, right? They take the little bit of nuggets that they get, right? Let's say they're talking to someone about a deal, and the person says, okay, I'll confirm an appointment for you, and then we'll meet, right? And they can consider that as a win, right? Or in terms of dating, right? You send a text message and you guys are going back and forth, right? Then you set up a date for the meeting, right? And you think, okay, it's going to be for the date, it's going to be on Friday. Come to find out that, oh shit, I think that's a win. But you don't know if she might flake on you or not, right? Same thing if you're setting up a business appointment, you don't know what's going to happen in that meeting. The meeting may not even happen. The prospect may reconsider, right? So we take those little nuggets and assume that those are wins, but they're really not, okay? And until you stop selling and you start winning, you're not going to achieve anything in terms of your personal goals, your physical goals, relationship goals, and your financial goals. You have to start winning, people. Okay, so what is selling? Let's go into it. The easiest way to break down selling is any single time. And for those of you guys who aren't really familiar with sales lingo, all right, for you guys who are not familiar with sales lingo, I'm going to use the word prospecting a lot. Okay, and the word prospecting just means a potential customer, a potential prospect that you are looking out and you're seeking out that could be a potential deal for you. Okay, so prospecting. And the easiest way to break this down is that when you're selling is anytime you sit in front of a prospect and there's no strategy whatsoever. There's no plan of attack to basically close the deal, right? There's no plan of attack to go at the goddamn jugular, right? So you sit down, no strategy whatsoever, and you just start talking. You just start presenting. You start doing your thing, right? You start talking up a storm. Some of y'all, when you go approach women, y'all don't even have a plan on what you want out of that situation. Y'all just go in, I'm just going to talk to her and see where it goes, right? Not knowing that if you don't have a straight line, a plan of attack, guess what? She's going to get bored. If you're texting back and forth, right, and you're spending too many times in a text message trying to find out every single thing about her, right, versus actually trying to set up a meeting, you're going to lose. She's going to get bored, and she's going to leave. So you're sitting there with no plan of attack, making good presentations, but you ain't leaving with no check. You ain't leaving closing the deal with a date. You ain't even leaving having the girl come back to your crib or vice versa. Selling, you see, and you see this nowadays, especially in the media at large. You see this nowadays, especially with some of these guys in the social media, some of these guys on some of these dating podcasts and all these other podcasts, right? All they do is sell. If you really think about it, go to all these different other podcasts and tell me if I'm wrong. All they're doing is selling. They're selling the women. They're selling the men. They're selling everybody, right? That's what it is, because selling is easy. It's easy to sit there and just throw a bunch of words out and throw a bunch of things out just hoping it sticks. It's easy to do that. What's hard is to go out and really say what I want and go out and not be afraid to go after what I want, to go for the jugular. And that's the thing, right? When we bring it into dating, what essentially happens is everyone sits there and they talk about themselves, right? Right now we're in the era of the high value males, right? We are in the era of high value males, and what do we see? Well, with high value males, everyone just sits there and tries to, present their value, right? Talk about their money, talk about their jobs, talk about all these different things that they think that to the prospect that matters, but it doesn't. And this is why things, even bringing it back to the companies for a second, right? When you're selling, and the reason why it's so easy is because you know everything about your company. You already know. You know about the products. You know about the benefits. You even know about yourself. You know everything that you can offer, right? So when you sit in front of a prospect, you're sitting there just trying to spew out everything that you have to offer. How many of y'all in the chat right now have ever bought cars, right? Either you bought cars, you've been in a situation where somebody's tried to sell you something. And what is the usual attitude that salesperson typically has, right? They're to sit in front of you and they're going to try to sell you everything about themselves, about their company, about the products, every single thing, right? These guys are constantly trying to make things look good, constantly emailing, constantly, trying to package things together, right? Sometimes you'll even find some of these salespeople at networking events, right? These are the April Masons of the world, right? They go to cocktail parties. They go to all these different things, doing every single thing they need to be doing, right? Other than actually closing the deal, right? That's why she can come out here and say, well, listen, I paid $25,000 to get into this room, and my femininity kept me in this room. No, it didn't. Your $25,000 kept you in the room. It got you in the room, and it kept you in the room. That's what it did, right? So who are you trying to sell? You didn't win anything, all right? The person who won was Rick Ross. He got you $25,000, and he helped write your book. No, not write it, but he was the financial backing for it, right? All that stuff is selling. That's all it is. Winning, right? Because these guys can spend money going to all these networking events, spend money doing all this prospecting, spend money doing all these emails, right? We tied to dating. You guys are spending time sending all these DMs. You're spending time and money buying all these courses. You're spending time and money listening to all these fake gurus. You're spending time and money just focusing on the things that isn't going to put the check in your bank account. That's the problem with a lot of young men. That's the problem with a lot of young women, especially even a lot of y'all out here right now. Y'all too focused on doing everything else rather than cashing the goddamn check. Why? Because all these other things are safe. Going to networking events, going to all these different things. There's safe things to do. They fall right in line with the comfort zone, so you don't really have to do much. You don't really have to try much, right? And hopefully as you're networking, you can try to, get somebody in there, right? Get somebody in there and close a deal, right? Versus actually going straight at it and getting what you want, because it's harder to ask those tough questions to get what you want. That's the problem. A lot of people tend to tiptoe and dance around what they need rather than go after it. So when we talk about selling, right? It's one of those things where you guys are buying into a process, and that process isn't necessarily you, right? That's somebody else's process, and that process can work for them, but it's not typically going to work for you. When I was a sales manager in the car business, right? A lot of times what we will do is the GM or the owner, depending on how big the establishment is, right? Your whole job is to develop the sales team and increase the monthly numbers and amount of new units that you're shoving out there, right? So that's your goal. And a lot of times when you sit down with your sales team, you got to go over a script because they already have a pre-script written. And it typically goes something like, hey, Mr. Customer, welcome to the building. My name is X, Y, and Z. And, can I interest you in, this product here, the featured product of the day? Do what you got to do the report piece, get them to your desk and follow along, right? But the problem is that's not you. Now we bring it back to dating, right? Because you all about to see how closely related these things are. You bring it back to dating, and what do you see? A lot of people following scripts. All y'all some script readers. That's what y'all. All y'all out there following these advices and following y'all script readers. Because you guys haven't even understand, and they're not saying that and there's nothing wrong with the scripts. No, scripts are backbone and skeletons, right? They could help. The problem is people are trying to follow it to a T because they're afraid to use that as a basis to basically develop their own skills. That's the problem. So you try to figure out these courses. You try to figure out all these different things. You get bamboozled because you go out there and try, and it feels like static. It feels not really you. And when you're trying to talk to the customer, you're trying to talk to that girl, it's not going to come off the tongue right? It's going to seem like something's off, right? It's going to feel like, man, like what? This person seems like he's trying to say something, but I can't really understand what he's actually saying. That's how you come off like. Y'all are script readers. That's why it's important to stop selling. And y'all don't really understand. And now you can say, okay, listen, okay, what are you talking about, right? You're talking about selling, you're talking about all this stuff. What are you talking about? People are selling. What are you saying? What I'm saying is people, especially men, y'all get stuck on the selling part, right? Look, even look at this whole manosphere. Y'all get so stuck on the goddamn selling piece. It's not even funny. And I see this as a problem with most of the salespeople I've coached and I've helped become better, is that when it comes time to close the deal, when it comes time to ask for the close, to really get at the heart of what the customer really wants, they back off. They dance around, they tiptoe, right? For guys, when it comes to going up, talking to the girl, and either asking for a number or trying to ask her to come back with you or go out with you wherever it may be, a lot of y'all tiptoe and dance around it. So you get stuck on selling mode. You get stuck on making presentations and talking too damn much because it's easy. The difference between someone who is selling and somebody who is winning is focus. Keep that in mind. The difference between somebody who sells, who's out here just selling shit, and somebody who is winning is the focus. Because a winner knows what he wants. A winner knows what she wants. A winner understands that in order to get to that finish line, they have to be unapologetic about how they get there. They don't have time to dance around. They don't have time to tiptoe. They don't have time to, be timid and, ask things in a soft way. They want to get to the heart of the goddamn meat. They want to say, okay, are you going to do this or not? Because anything outside of that is a big time waster for me. Anything that's outside of what I want or what you want, it's a time waster for me. But not just for me, it's for you, the prospect. Big time waster, right? And the problem is when a lot of guys are selling, they lack the focus. No, they have it, but they lack it. Let me explain that. They have the focus when it comes to themselves. They lack the focus when it comes to the prospect or the person that they want to sell. That's right. That is absolutely right. You lack the focus on the people that you actually want to sell. You're stuck in your own head because you know about yourself. You know about the benefits that you have to offer. You know about the things that you have to give. You know about all the different things, but everything but what the prospect wants. Think about it. Some of you great value males out there, right, talking about, well, I don't understand why she's dating the Pookie and Ray Ray. I make six figures. All right, I got me a good job. I got me benefits. Okay, I got benefits. Why is she going for a broke guy? Like, listen, look at me. I got the suits on. Where my cologne at? Where my cologne at? Where my candles? I got all the stuff already. Why won't you come to me, right? You over here too much trying to sell your benefits. Or you ladies out there, right? Some of y'all talking about, I got my degrees. I have my PhDs. I got so many DMs from all these different dudes. Like, why? Why am I not getting the results from the man that I want? Why am I not getting the desired outcome that I want? What has happened? I have all these things, right? The problem is you're too focused on yourself. You're not focused on what the man wants. And for the guys, you don't even know what that particular woman that you're going after wants. All you know is what you want and what you want to get out of it. That's the problem that's facing people in terms of being successful out there. And that's a problem that's facing people when it comes to relationship. Everybody is going into these situations selling, right? Because y'all just thinking about yourselves and not thinking about your goddamn prospects want. And what do they want? Well, you got to pay attention to them now, don't you? And that's what differentiates the people who are selling versus the people who are winning. All right? Because I'm going to tell you this. A lot of times when people think that just because you are focused on yourself, right? You know every single thing about yourself. When you get yourself in that mode, a lot of times people fail to think about what the person in front of them actually wants. You really think about it. How many times have you guys been in a situation when y'all have been sold? I want to know that in the chat or in the comment section, right? How many times have you guys been in a situation where somebody's trying to sell you and they just sitting there, they're not really even asking you the questions that what you want, right? They're not even sitting there trying to be considerate about all that stuff. All they're really saying is, well, listen, I got my company here. This is the products we offer. This is the services, X, Y, and Z, right? But they're not really focused on what is it that you want, right? So instead of these salespeople, instead of these sellers, right? We'll call them sellers, right? Instead of them actually selling something, what they're doing is they're not, but the difference is because these guys aren't building a strategy, right? So that's the big difference. They're not going into it with the strategy, like I mentioned before. So instead of creating a strategy to connect with that prospect, right? To really go at the heart of what it is that they're looking for, to really go at the heart of what the issue is, right? What they're yearning for. A lot of y'all just sit there and hope. Y'all know how I feel about hope. I don't believe in it. Hope is for people who don't plan. Hope is for people who fail to plan. That's why I don't believe in it, right? Because you're throwing everything on an expectation. And you want to know what the expectation is? That expectation is on the hope that the benefits that you have provided, the products and all of that, that the prospect is just going to look at all that and say, you know what? This person did a genuine presentation. I like what they have going on. You know, I'm just going to go buy it. Wrong. It doesn't work that way. That's how you get shopped, actually. And we'll break that down in a second, right? And we even go, when you go into dating, right? A lot of you dudes and a lot of you girls, you guys go into the situation hoping, right? You're not going there with a clear plan or a clear strategy. You're not going in there saying, okay, I'm going to vet this dude. I'm a vet. Where you going? What do you see yourself going in life, right? What do you see yourself doing, right? What are your characters, right? Going deep and understanding the man, studying your potential prospect. But a lot of y'all go into it because y'all don't know what you want. You go in there saying, well, I just want to have fun. I'm just going to it and see what's happening. And they get surprised when you get ghosted. It gets surprised when you get dumped for another chick who already knows what that man wants and is prospected for it, right? What is it that Kevin Samuel said and everyone's freaking out about his last live stream, right? Latinas are winning, especially when it comes to the black community. I'm sorry, bro. Like, they're coming in and they're trying to clean house. Why? Because they're focused. Black women right now, we're selling. We're not focused. We're selling. We're out here playing games. We're out here just ungrounded, laissez-faire, moving around. While these girls, these other communities, they're focused. They're paying attention to what the prospect that they want, and they're molding themselves to fix the real issue. So when they come in, they're taking house, they're cleaning house. But what do we decide to do? We just sit here and sell. We go into it, no strategy whatsoever, and just sell. Same thing for you dudes out there. We just go in there and we're just selling. We don't really have a particular strategy on what we want. We're hoping that she kind of feeds us and carries on into the next step rather than taking initiative and going for the goddamn jugular. So we just get stuck in selling mode. Now, some of you guys be like, okay, Duke, how do I know if I'm a seller? You're talking about selling. How do I know if I'm one of these sellers? Okay, I need to know, because all what you're saying right now, Duke, it's starting to, it kind of sounds like me. It kind of sounds like I've been going throughout my whole life selling, not really knowing what I want, not really putting pen to paper or building a strategy. I have been selling, people. That's what I've been doing. And how do I know if I'm a seller? Let me tell you something, man. When I worked in the car business, especially as a sales manager, here's the thing, right? To even break this down, one thing I observed about the salespeople that I work with, and I kind of alluded to this earlier, is a lot of salespeople will take a just any little small bit as a win, right? And we break it down. So, for instance, I'm talking to a sales candidate, right? And not even a candidate, but a sales rep, and they're sitting there making their phone calls, and I call this the top 5, right? Your top 5 prospects that are likely to buy. All right. Some of them think it's just a win to set the appointment. Some of them think it's just a win that the motherfucker showed up to the appointment. Matter of fact, I've noticed some salespeople think that it's a win if they take the customer out for a test drive. All these little micro things, they think they're winning. But in the end result, they get shocked when the customer either gives them a rejection or says, nah, I'm not interested. Maybe next time. Maybe I'm not going to buy right now. Let me take my time. They get shocked because all these different times they really hoped, right? They were expecting, they hoped that if the person just agreed to show up to the appointment, well, they're one step closer to buying, right? And I'll get this all the time. They'll run into the office. Duke. All right, you remember that customer I was talking about that was on that F-150? Yeah. What's up? Yeah, they just said they would have come down, and they're going to come down today at 5 o'clock, and they're going to come look at the car now. And I would look at them, and these motherfuckers will be so goddamn excited, right? And in my back of my mind, and you got to, as a sales manager, you got to also inspire, your sales rep. And that's the thing. You can't sit there and be a Debbie Downer sometimes, but sometimes you got to bring them to reality. Sometimes you got to sit them down and say, okay, yeah, they showed up to the appointment, but son, that ain't it. That ain't it. I'm not taking this as a win until that car leaves the goddamn lot. Until it crosses that parking lot and it's out of here, what are you celebrating? That means nothing. Right? A lot of you dudes, you send a text message, you send a DM. She says, yeah, she confirms. You think that's a win. But she ain't even showed up to the date yet. Or some of y'all, she shows up to the date. You think that's a win. But she ain't even at your crib. You take these little micro nuggets and think that you're winning, but you're not. You're just selling. And this is the kind of approach that kills a lot of deals. And you know what I was noticed too? Like, because I was the only sales manager in some of the dealerships I work for. Sometimes you work as a team of 3, sometimes a team of 6, depending on the size of the enterprise, right? But I'd see other sales managers, and what they'll do is when a sales rep comes to them with that particular situation, they come in, they big the whole thing up. They're like, oh, this is great. This is great. Oh, this is perfect. They're coming in. What time? 4 o'clock? 5 o'clock? They're coming in. Oh, shit. Get the car ready. Everybody get everything. They're scrambling. They're moving around. I'm sitting there watching them. They're doing all things just to get everything perfect. They're wasting all this time, right? Prospect don't even know if they're going to show up. And when they don't show up, let's say they flaked, all of a sudden salesperson comes in or sales manager comes in and says, It's okay. It's all right. That's all right. You'll get them next time, buddy. You'll get them next time. After all, it's just a numbers game. Let's just get back on the phones. Let's get back on those emails. After all, this is all a numbers game. That's all this is. That's all this is. So don't worry about it. You get it next time. And I would always look at them and I'll say, that's so wrong. That is absolutely wrong. It's not just a number game. Matter of fact, you going into that thinking that you will starve. This is how you lose deals. You will starve as a salesperson going in there thinking it's just a numbers game. Thinking I gotta call all these people, thinking I gotta do all these different things, right? Thinking that you gotta be this person who has to take these little micro victories, and you don't realize that all you're doing is just selling and potentially losing deals. And a lot of times, and what you notice in these situations is these guys are wasting a fuck ton of time. These guys are wasting a fuck ton of time. Listen, you'll even notice this. You know, when it comes to relationship, right? How many times do you see guys get hung up on a girl that shows low interest in them? How many times? I've been that guy sometimes, right? And you see some of these dating gurus, they'll say, oh, whoa. It's okay. All right, it's okay. Just wait, another 3 days and text her back and keep following up, right? Just keep doing your thing. Or they say, no. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. Okay. Just go ahead and if she's not trying to sleep with you right now, just make a phone call. All right. Make a phone call. Make sure you know, or she knows that you're talking to another girl, and then just invite her over in front of her face, right? No, it's okay. These sales managers, right? Some of these guys that you listen to, they come in and they pat your back because you got these little micro victories, and they say, no, it's okay. It's okay. Just focus on this other thing. Not the fact that you're not focusing on the goddamn problem, so you're losing. So I noticed this a lot, that these guys, they're losing a lot of deals because they're hoping on the little wins. Right? They're hoping on the little wins, the little expectations that this may pan out. But what do we know about hope? Hope is an expectation. Expectations lead to disappointment. How many women have ever hoped on something and you've just been greatly disappointed? You've ever hoped that a guy is going to be right? The guy that is talking to you over at that counter, right? He's going to be everything that you imagine, come to find out later that he's a total asshole, right? But you stay hoping that he'll change and be that nice guy that you initially met up with. But let's just face it, he never does. But you stay in hope. And every time you stay in hope, you still get disappointed. Same thing with your dudes out there, dealing with the exact same thing. You're sitting there hoping that shit's going to change, but eventually it just doesn't. So what now? You say, okay, I get it. Now I know what selling is, right? Duke, I know what selling is now. I understand this, right? What is wrong with that, though? What is wrong with me just going up and trying to text as many girls as I can, right? What is wrong with me going out and making as many phone calls as I can? What is wrong with me going up and making as many emails as I can? What is wrong with me doing all these different things, right? I don't see the problem with it. The way I see it, I'm casting my net, aren't I? Well, here's the thing. The biggest problem, especially when it comes down to selling, is that you're following a process. You're following a goddamn process, people. Like the script I was talking about earlier, right? You're following a process. And the problem with the process is that you're going through the emotions. That's all it is. There's no part of you that's involved in that. You're just going through the motions. You're just doing exactly what the process do. All right. List A, this is what the DM Masterclass told me to do. Rule B, this is what the DM Masterclass told me to do. Rule C, this is what the DM Masterclass told me to do. So if she says this, I do that. If she does this, I do that. Right. You're not in the moment. You're not focused on the prospect. You're just following the motions. Meanwhile, the prospect is just sitting there, sipping their drink, right? And just listen to you babble. Just listen to you talk. Just listen to you just say whatever you can, right? And say, okay, well, I'm not really interested in what this guy is saying, but let me just sit there and just, just let him talk. But here's the problem, and I'll go into this a little bit later. The problem with this is that now you're not just wasting your time, you're wasting the prospect time, and the prospect's going to get you back. You don't know how they're going to get you back, but they're going to get you back. And I'm going to let you know how, right? Y'all don't know how. So while you're busy following and going through the motions, right? Making your phone calls, sending your DMs, sending your emails like, hey, yo, what about that? You know, you said you wouldn't come in on that deal. Congratulations. We're able to get it underneath the 49,559, right? We were able to get it to that price when you're coming in today. Can you come in today and make it happen, right? Hey, baby, I know you flaked on me the other day, but I got Friday open. You know, we can go to Dave & Buster's. You ever been to Dave & Buster's before, baby? All right, they got good pizza. All right, they got pizza and games. You ever been to Dave & Buster's? We can do this Friday. I promise you, I'm high value, right? Y'all just, we know what that does? That makes y'all peddlers. And y'all want to wonder why, like, women don't respect y'all for dudes, and it's vice versa, why men don't respect y'all women. It's because all y'all do is sell, and y'all turn to peddlers. Y'all turn to hustlers, right? And that's essentially what we have today. We have a culture of hustling. A lot of you motherfuckers got turned into hustlers. That's essentially what happened, because you're just shilling yourself. You're shilling what you have to offer, but you're not considerate of the prospect. So you're a peddler. You're not a closer, because all y'all waste too many goddamn time on people who are non-buyers. Matter of fact, even some of these DM courses I've seen, some of these game books I've seen, some of these relationship guides and manual guides and all these different things I've seen, what they do and what they encourage, at least the common theme of it, is they encourage people to waste time on non-buyers. Everyone right now is wasting time on non-buyers, right? So when you're sitting there sending your emails, making phone calls to that prospect, hoping that they can come in and get that deal that they said before when they initially stepped in, they were willing to buy, you don't realize that that person was shopping you because you didn't do the due diligence to ask the questions that goes for the jugular. So you're sitting there wasting time, right? Some of these game books that I was alluding to earlier, right? The one thing they have in common is they're teaching you guys how to waste time on women who have low interest in you. Think about that. How many of y'all in the chat right now have actually, or some of you guys are going to be watching this on a replay, have bought in some of these game books and bought in some of these different manuals, right? And all it does, it just teaches you how to waste time on people who are non-buyers. You're not spending time paying attention to the character. You're not spending time asking the right open-ended questions that's going to get you to where you need to be, right? See if the guy's either marriage-minded or relationship-minded, or if he's just one friends with benefit situation. We're not asking that question. We're not stepping with the pressure, people. That's what it is. You got to step with the pressure. That's the difference between a seller and a winner. So they're teaching you all of these gimmicks, all of these tricks and tricks on non-buyers. You're wasting your time on non-buyers. Girls who are already showing you since the first 2 or 3 text messages, right? The one-word replies, the one-sentence answers, not even asking you a follow-up question to show if they're interested in the product that you're selling. Y'all still wasting time texting back and forth. Going back and forth, thinking that, oh, eventually if I say this right thing, I'm going to convince her, not realizing that she's a non-buyer. She's just shopping you, whether for your attention, which is non-sexual, or something else. She's just shopping you, right? The same thing for guys, right? Your girls, right? The same thing for y'all. Y'all wasting your time on this dude, right? Thinking that he's going to leave that girl he's dealing with just to come F with you, but you know he probably seen other girls too around that situation. He's probably seen it, but you're sitting there hoping that if I just give him the good box, right? If I just do what I need to do, maybe he will come home and stay with me. Not realizing, ladies, you are wasting your time on a non-buyer. He ain't gonna marry you. He ain't going to put you on that girlfriend status. He's not going to do any of that because he already knows in his mind that you're a non-buyer, right? I mean, we see this nowadays. A lot of women, they're wasting time on dudes who are non-buyers, who aren't even ready for that situation, but yet they get into it with them. And worse come to worse, they now start getting themselves in long-term consequences, whether they have a baby with them, right? Some of y'all ladies, y'all do the baby trapping, right? Thinking it's going to keep the guy with you. Turns out He's not staying with you, and you wonder, sitting there crying, why? Why wouldn't he stay with me and take care of my kids, Lord? Because he was a non-buyer. So all them time, all those years wasted because you were your prospect was a non-buyer. And that's what I see nowadays. That's what I see. A lot of y'all wasting time on people who aren't even, you don't even know if they're willing to buy your product or not. You don't even know if they're willing to buy or invest in what it is that you're selling. And what that does when you're wasting your time on non-buyers, it prevents you from directing that focus that we were just talking about onto sharpening your actual skills to actually be successful out here. And your skills being able to ask those questions and be unapologetic about it, because you're going into it with a bona fide plan of attack, a strategy of what you want. Some of you are going in there saying, I don't want to ask that question because what if they say no? What if she stops fucking with me? Dude, if I ask her what I really want out of her, if I do, what if she says no, dog? Like, you're not thinking about this. What if she doesn't want to vibe with that? What if I lose that deal? Or what if she wasn't the one? What if she was one of these non-buyers we were talking about? And the only way you're going to find out is to step with the pressure. Go for the jugular. Do not be afraid to do it. And what ends up happening is now you garner respect because you're not wasting her time and she's not wasting yours. And the answer you get to make the decision off of that. If I want to keep dealing with you, or if I want to go ahead and move on over to somebody who got what I want, to a prospect who is properly primed for what I want to sell them or to win them over with. Right? So going through those motions, asking those questions, they sharpen your dating skills. They sharpen your interpersonal communication skills. They sharpen your skills being able to discern. And it builds on top of that. So when you see different characters, different personalities, when they approach you, you're able to discern if this person is going to align with your goals and what you want, or this person is a non-buyer here to shop you, here to waste your time. And sometimes the worst thing and the worst feelings we can never feel is to feel that our fucking time has been wasted by a non-buyer. But we see that. The problem with selling, there are two major issues with this, right? And I'm going to break those two things down. The two major problems with selling, and that's what all people do, is a lot of y'all only think there's two people in this process. Men and women. Y'all think that when y'all out here selling, y'all think there's only two people involved in this process. You think it's just you and your prospect involved in the process, right? So we bring it back to sales. We bring it back to the corporate world, right? When you're going in, you set up the deal, you're going in to talk to them, you think it's just you. When you're about to make your presentation, you think, I'm about to smash this presentation, right? I'm going to go in there, I'm going to deliver this to the prospects. You think the dynamic is just between you two. And this is the big issue because it's not, right? It's between you, the prospect, and the incumbent agent. For those of you who don't know what the incumbent agent is a person they're already dealing with before you came along. That's right. So if we bring it back to dating, right? If you're going in, you're talking to a girl, right? You think it's just you selling yourself to the girl. It's not you selling yourself to the girl. It's you, the girl, and the dude she just got done dealing with, because you're always going to be a comparison to the ex. But y'all don't know that. Y'all thinking, all right, I'm going to go in there and strut my stuff, right? I'm a great value man. I got my great value products. I got my great value benefits. I got my great value everything. She's going to buy me. I hope that she's going to see all my stuff and buy me, right? So you go in there, you do your little sales presentation. You're selling her. And then all of a sudden she ghosts you. And you're sitting there wondering, well, what the fuck happened? What happened? What's going on? Like, how? Why did she ghost me? Why did he ghost me? Because y'all didn't realize there was another party involved. Y'all forgot about the incumbent agent, the ex-boyfriend, the ex-girlfriend, the one that was there before you. Y'all forgot about that. So when y'all hopped into the situation, y'all thought it was you two. And you thought that out of that whole interaction, You were the important one because you thought you had the benefits because you're great value. You thought you had all this stuff because you're great value. And then come to find out that you are the least important process, or this is the important person in the entire process. That's right. You, as the new person, going against the incumbent, going against the prospect, you are the least important entity, and we don't really realize that. So when we go in there selling, not realizing why we lose, it's because we don't realize that we're going after all these different things. And I'm gonna tell you this: that X of theirs, their incumbent agent, that person is gonna determine if you're gonna get that deal or not. That person is gonna determine this because there are two biggest issues with this, right? The biggest issue that we don't consider, and the reason why we forget to go for the jugular, is that people lie. Right? People lie. And when you deal with enough people and you talk to them, you start to understand that, hey, you on some bullshit, right? But I'm trying to sell. I'm trying to get to the heart of what I want. So I'm not gonna call you out on it, but you lying, right? I can't tell you how many times customers will come in and say, listen, I don't know, I don't know what you guys have on the lot. I don't know what you guys have going on. I'm just here to see what's happening. I see that you guys have a Ford Escort on the lot, and I just came to check it out and see if I can make sure the price works out right. But I don't really know anything. I haven't done the research. First of all, I know you're bullshitting because in this day and age, the average of 1.5 persons visits the dealership. Right? No. What is it? Yeah, average of 1.5 dealerships. I'm sorry. People visit 1.5 dealerships before they go ahead and make their buying decisions, right? Before, it was an average of 8 dealerships. 8 dealerships, right? People would go around because we didn't have the internet, the social media as much as we had it now. But people go around and they have to go to all these different dealerships to be able to get the right deal, right? And that was back then. That was years ago. Nowadays, you got Carvana, you got Car Gurus, you got all these different spots. So the average person is stopping in 1.5 dealerships before they make a buying decision. So I already know you're lying. I already know that you've done your research online. If you looked at thousands, probably, let's give you realistic numbers. You've probably looked at tons, right? Tens of cars in the same Escort model. You've looked at that at dealerships within the 15-mile radius, but you came here, and I know you came here because we got the price in your goddamn budget. That's right. So off the bat, you're not going to fool me. What the fuck you fooling me for? You ain't going to fool me. I already know that you here because our price is within the market that you're looking for. Out of all them dealerships you could have went in, our price fits the bill. But a lot of guys, y'all don't see that. You fall for the bullshit, right? She comes in and tells you, oh, it's been a long time since I've been in a relationship. My ex broke up. I'm not really dealing with them. It's been a long time ago, right? And you buy it. Bullshit. Because you already know there's something there. Now, it's not your job to try to insert yourself, but it's your job to understand that sometimes the shit that people say is bullshit, and it's just true. So why do your prospects lie? Why do the women lie? Why do the men lie? Why do people lie? And let me tell you this, once you overcome this, you ain't gonna have no problem selling. You are not gonna have any problem selling anything, right? But we got to also understand, why is it that people lie? And the reason why people lie, your prospects, is because they really don't have any intention of buying the products that you want to sell. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. They have no intention of buying what it is that you say. Let me tell you something, right? I'm going to tell y'all a secret. People don't give a shit about what you have to offer. They only care about how that product or service that you're bringing is going to benefit them, right? That's why you see some of these guys who are complaining in the spaces. Oh, she's talking about 6 figures. She's talking about you got to have a Lambo. She's talking about all these different things. And you're not realizing that when they're saying that, when they're doing all that, they really don't have any intention of buying. They really don't. And what I said before a while ago, right, when I say that you're just wasting the prospect's time, and they're going to go ahead and punish you for it. And you don't know how they're going to punish you for it, but they will punish you for it. This is how they're going to do it. And the way they're going to do it is because they realize you're wasting their time. What they're going to do is then say, okay, you know what? While I'm drinking my drink here, this is great. This is fantastic. Yeah, go ahead and give me all the information. So your price is what again? And how low can you get it? Can you get it below 25,000, right? Okay, 25.5 is the best you can do. Are you sure? Okay, what about that oil changes you promised us the other day, right? Can we get that part of the deal too, or is that only you guys doing that? Could other dealerships do the same thing? Is it just you, right? Oh, okay. And you're sitting there just talking and talking and talking, right? You're sitting there selling. They're asking the questions. You feel like they're engaging. You're selling them. You're giving them all these different answers and everything that they need to know about this particular deal that you're about to sell them, and you're getting excited along the way. Oh, yes. You are getting so goddamn excited. They're engaging with you. Here's what's end up happening, right? Then you get down to the dotted line. They even test drive the car with you, by the way. I've had that. They'll test drive the car with you. And then when it comes to signing at that dotted line, signing at that paper, right? You got the numbers that they want. You got the car that they were looking for, the mileage, everything just fits. The safety features, everything that you want to give it all fits what they're looking for. It says, all right, here you go. Everything is here. Let's go ahead and sign it. And then they pull the, I got to think about it. They pull the, well, hold up. I got to talk to my wife. I got to talk to the girls, right? I got to wait for my paycheck to come in. I got to wait till Friday. All these different excuses and objections starts popping up all over the place. I'll check back with you later, right? And then they leave, and you leave wondering like, what the fuck just happened? What the hell just happened? Right? And y'all don't realize she's going to take all that information you gave her, and she's going to go right to the competition, your competition, and says, hey, that dumbass over there said that he could do X, Y, Z, A, B, C. What the fuck can you do? And guess what's going to happen, right? If that person is the incumbent dealer, the person they've always been dealing with for years, they've been selling them cars, they already got a network there. He done sold the kids' cars, right? Done sold the whole family. They come in there. You know what they're going to do? They're going to say, ma'am, I can do better. Let me take it back there. Is this a car? Oh, okay. We don't have this particular car on the lot, but guess what? One of our other dealerships, it's in Indiana right now. All right. I know that's a whole nother state away, but I tell you what, if we could put the numbers to where you're looking for and we can get that car down here, no extra cost to you, would you take it home? And she says yes. She says, absolutely, I'll take it home. Yeah, why not? I'll take the damn car home. I've been dealing with you for years, right? I'm already familiar with you. I've been dealing with, I buy what you're selling. Yeah, of course. If you can get that car down here, let's do it. And then they buy from your competition rather than buying from you. Now, why is that? It was for a couple different reasons. A, like I said before, they weren't really interested in what you had to sell them, right? And they felt like you weren't really even speaking to what they really needed. So you were just wasting their time. So in that case, they're going to at least use that time you're wasting to make it worth it now. Now we bring it back to dating, right? All these guys who are pretending to be great value males, right? High value males, right? Right? All you guys doing, spending your last paychecks, buying her dinners, buying her all these different expensive things, right? Trying to prove that you can show her the lifestyle that you deserve, baby. I can give you this. You go to expensive dinners, take her on expensive dates, expensive experiences, thinking that I am selling you on the quality of me, right? All these other dating coaches, they're telling me that all I got to do is become this high-value male and give her the experience and she will be mine. And then she takes all of that stuff, right? The food, the dinners, all the dates and all that. She goes right to the next guy and says, that nigga is willing to do something for me. And he's willing to do A, B, C, and D. What you gonna do? That's what's gonna happen. What the hell you gonna do? Because I got him doing this for me already. I ain't even had to do nothing. He's just doing it by himself. So what you gonna do? And that guy's gonna say, well, let me see what I can do, right? Let me see if I can outdo this. Or she's gonna run into another dude that's gonna say, nah, baby, let me get at it real quick. And he goes for the jugular and he keeps her. That's the ex, because the ex already got history with her. The ex already knows what's all about. He already knows. So he's gonna keep her. Right? Let's read the super chat. Bernie L, shout out to you. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Duke, you said you are a former car salesman. 90% of the time, the buyers asking 50% of the questions ain't looking to buy, especially if they don't have the paper to buy. Absolutely. People don't realize that. They think just because the customers engage with them, they think just because the girls engage with them that person is going to be a buyer. And you don't realize that, no, they're not really interested in what you're selling, because what you're selling is speaking to what the real problem is. And the real problem, you're not getting it out of them because you're too busy trying to sell yourself. And then when she's sitting there asking you questions, and you're feeding her the answers, and you keep going, and you keep doing all these different things. You don't realize that you are feeding your competition. All right? And I kind of mentioned the second issue. Shout out to you, Bernie. I kind of mentioned the second issue too as well. But the incumbent, the ex-boyfriend, the ex-girlfriend, she is lying in wait. She is waiting. She's waiting. She's waiting for the ex to come back. She's waiting for the ex life to get a little bit better, right? And then she's gonna come in because she already knows the trigger points. He already knows what to say to get her back on lock. She already knows what to say to get him back on lock, right? And on top of that, the reason why, even if they seem like they're engaged with you, even if they seem like they're ready to do something and they don't do it, is because it's hard for them to break up with that old experience. It's hard for them to leave the incumbent. It's hard because they already got history with the person, man. The person done sold cars to the kids. The person done sold multiple vehicles to them at least. So why? What I have to? It's gonna be hard for me to pick up that phone and then just say, "Hey, listen, this other dude is offering me a better deal than you got me. I'm gonna have to just say it's over." That's hard for a lot of people to do. So what do? They go in and say, "Well, what can you do for me?" That's the problem. A lot of y'all getting shopped right now, and a lot of y'all getting rolled. That is what's the biggest issue right now. So then you then ask, okay, well, what are potential solutions? Duke, what how can I get into this and be a competitor? How can I win? Right? You're talking about winning. How can I start winning? Well, first thing is you need to start coming at these things with a strategy. You need to start coming at these things with an actual plan of attack. You need to start coming at these things with a goddamn bona fide strategy. You can't be going in there thinking, I'm just going to sell my value. I'm just going to sell what I got and the chick's going to buy it. It's not going to work. Life doesn't work that way. It never will. When you go into that situation, you have to understand what it is and what you're dealing with. And you have to understand that I'm going into that, I'm going to win. So when I go in there, I'm going to ask the questions that are only going to get me to the sale, that are going to get me to the deal. And if anything comes out of the ordinary, well, guess what? I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste your time. I'm gonna go on about my business, and we'll shake hands and part friends. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We'll just shake hands. You're just not what I'm looking for at the time. The problem is a lot of you guys get so hung up on savoring the deal that you don't realize that you don't have to waste your time trying to do that. You don't. So when you start pulling all these things together, it's asking you guys for you guys to do, right? We're asking you guys to do is to not be afraid. Would be to be able to go out there, and actually try and sharpen your skills and get those experiences for yourself. I'm getting the link pinned to the chat, and what we're gonna try to do, a Q&A, right? We're gonna try to do a Q&A. If you guys have any questions regarding the sales, how it translates to dating, how it translates to anything, we'll open it up for the next 10 minutes, next 10, 20 minutes. I got shit to do. All right, people. I got things going on. So we're going to pin it up to the top. All right. But why are all these things important? The reason why these things are important because it's forcing you guys to actually put in the work. It's forcing you guys to get your goddamn hands dirty. A lot of you guys, man, you gotta get too comfortable being keyboard warriors. A lot of you guys, man, you gotta get too comfortable, having that barrier in front of you so you don't have to break through it and get at what you want that's on the other side. Because you're in your comfortability zone and it's too comfy for you guys to leave. Well, let me tell you this, right? Because you think it's so dangerous out there. Let me tell you this. The most dangerous thing anyone can ever do is to play it safe. That's right. The dangerous thing that you can ever do in this world is to play it safe, ladies. The dangerous thing you can ever do is to play it safe, gentlemen. That is the most dangerous thing anybody can ever do, because when you play it safe, there's no room for growth. There's no room for anything. All you're doing is staying at that same level and not growing. So when it comes to money, when it comes to finances, no one wants to put in the work to get the discipline going. When it comes to relationships, no one wants to put in the work to keep things going. When it comes to every single aspect of our lives, no one wants to put in the freaking work because we're all too goddamn comfortable. The real world out there is too dangerous. But over here, I'm comfortable. Things are nice. Things are smooth. The riskiest thing you can ever do in this world is to play it safe. Because what that ends up leading to is rejection. That ends up leading to is resentment. What that ends up leading to is regret. The 3 R's. I put 4 up. The 3 R's. And those are the things you do not want to be feeling when you get to the age, you get to the point, and then start realizing, damn, what if I actually came out of my comfort zone? What if that whole thing when I say I was working on myself, I actually worked on myself. I actually put in the damn work. I wonder what kind of woman I would be, right? What if I actually said hello to that girl, right? What if I just complimented her, right? Instead of just being this nervous wreck that I always am, what if I just went after it? You'll never know, because the riskiest thing you can do is to play it safe, people. You think it's a risk going up to go talk to those girls, right? You think so? I even had I had the opportunity to moderate a debate. All right, it was in the black pill community, right? Oh yeah, guys, we everywhere. Duke and Don is everywhere. We getting in every nook and cranny of the space, baby. And when I moderated that space, what I ended up finding out is a lot of these guys, they were saying that women, to approach them was harassment. So guys shouldn't be doing that anymore because women will view it as harassment. That's right. That's what I said. That's what they said, right? And I was just like, bruh. And I was moderating. So I couldn't jump in and tag in and go back and forth, right? So I had to stay back. But I was screaming in my damn boots. Because I'm like, how can you believe that? You don't even know what's going on in her head. So you're saying it's all risk. You don't know if she's going to see that as harassment. You don't know, so don't approach her. Then what? Well, you think she's going to come talk to you, bruh? Is that what it is? Bernie L, let's get you in here. What's good, brother? How you doing?
Hey, I want to clarify something. So which one are you? You're Duke or Don?
I'm Duke.
Oh, you're Duke. All right.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to the stream, brother.
Let's thank you. Let's chop it up. You're my back alleyway, so I'm a auto technician. So
that's what's up. Service guys in the building.
So I'm about to drop a channel. It's gonna be a bombshell. Okay. And the first topic I'm gonna talk about is the consumer is never right because they don't understand and comprehend how things work. 90% of the time, 90%. Like you're talking about. So what you're talking about is game, but it applies across all aspects of life. So when you're talking about car salesman, I'm pretty sure from the grip when the customer shows up, you have that psychological. You can tell a customer is not going to buy. It's going to waste your time. Going to go for an hour, 2 hours. It's gonna go for nonsense.
And what are some of those characteristics if you like that you've seen in your experience that kind of indicate, because I've seen those, right? The way they, even the way they walk into the building, right? Even it's how they ask the questions, right? They're the indicators that they're like, maybe this person is not really about it, right? Maybe this person isn't.
No knock on
Go ahead.
people, but just by not by the way they're dressed, but the way I mean, if they're coming at you with the attitude from the grip, they ain't about buying. They just want to waste your time, or maybe they just car shopping because that's the car they want to come and pick up at night when the dealers close. You know what I'm saying?
That's that
you
that's
know,
facts. No, that's absolute facts. Go ahead. No, continue. My bad. I was just.
So
I'm listening.
I mean,
What up?
I'm going to talk more about this in my channel, but I'm gonna get a lot of backlash. But ain't nobody talking about as coming from the background as automotive tech and dealing with consumers or customers. It's not the easiest thing. So I give shout outs to anybody that's in car salesmen, managers. This community of automotive, it goes a long ways.
Absolutely.
So
And
I'm really
let these guys know this, because I tell people, man, I was 19 years old making $119,000 a year. All right, now 119 was the most I've made, but the average was pretty much anywhere from 80,000 to about 106, usually on an average year. But
okay.
106 figures, right? And 19 years old all the way up. And people think, right, that oh well, I have to go to school, I have to do this, I have to go hustle out here, I have to go be this drug dealer, I have to go do this, I can do all these different things, not realizing that all you got to do is learn some interpersonal communication skills. All you got to do is learn that if I can reach out and talk to that person and talk to them in a way where I can speak to the issues that they're having, I'm gonna walk out that room with their money in my back pocket. And they're gonna walk out of that room with the issue that they wanted solved, right?
And as a car salesman, a lot of people don't see the time you put in, all the extra work you put in just to do that. So you go above and beyond for the customer. A lot of them don't appreciate that. Very few actually tip you very well. So I know where you're coming from with car salesman thing.
Absolutely, it is. It's brutal but beautiful, right? Because the checks are great. Let's just make that clear. I mean, not so much now because even checking back with the industry, one thing I'm noticing now is a lot of them are going towards the salary and like commission mix, right? So some of these new guys coming into sales, because like basically a lot of these guys, they realize that these younger guys coming up, they want to play it safe. They want the salary because they don't want the all commission deal. They want to be able to, still go home with a paycheck. But the problem is all these youngers coming out wanting that guarantee. You're not going to make as much money. You're going to be capped because guess what? What? You think all of a sudden they're going to increase your commission because they're paying you a salary? The money has to come from somewhere. So guess what? It comes out of what you're supposed to earn. I would hear like young salespeople. They would say, "Oh, I sold about 25 cars this month. Guess what my check is? It's about $5,000, yo. That's crazy." I'm like, what?
Nah,
Back in the day, I sell that amount of cars. I'm walking away with 10 to 15, depending on the gross on the units that I sold.
It is. I talked to a lot of different car salesmen. It ain't what it was back in the day.
It's not.
It ain't. But as a quick side note, talking about automotive, a lot of this going to 4-year college, we need to bring back that auto mechanic back into the high schools. I think we should be teaching 4 years of mandatory automotive, because look, automotive mechanic is a universal hands-on. If I teach you, even though you hate my guts when I'm your high school teacher, and I teach you how to change a spare tire, most people, even guys or girls, don't even have, no knock on anybody, don't even know how to change a spare tire. If I teach you that, even if you don't do automotive and you branch out to something else, even if you become a doctor, construction worker, if you become anything in those lines, and then 10 years later you look back and what I taught you, you have a flat tire, you know how to change your own flat tire. So I think that's what we should be teaching. This is like a Batman belt that holds all kinds of tools across the board. If you become a dentist, you know how to work with tools, your hands on. So I don't agree with everybody has to go to 4-year college. Most of these people flipping degrees or flipping burgers at Mickey D's. That's not a career.
Well, let me tell you this: it's a scam. Not fully, right? Because if you're going to the physical, the tech fields, right? If you're going into all these different fields of tech, mathematics, engineering, right? Because my major, I went to University of Duke, so I majored in aerospace engineering. So I already knew what was up, but I dropped out. I ended up leaving because I realized that I'm great at talking to people than sitting back there and doing what I need to do and trying to figure out how to get myself into some of these big companies, right? So, but the thing is, what college doesn't teach you is how to really get ready for the real world, because the real world changes, and it changes so goddamn fast. By the time these colleges catch up, you're already going to be behind. And guess what? Now these companies have to spend money on training and doing all these different things to basically get you up to speed on what's happening out here, right? And on top of that, the reason why they're trying to convince all these people that school is a new thing, that everybody should go to school, and I'm not railing against it unless you're going into those fields that are really going to matter, right? But if you're like a sociology or some of these other, all these other majors like dance theories and whatever the fuck, right? Essentially what's happening is they're telling you that no, all this other physical real world stuff like plumbing, all these contractor, automotive, all this, no. You want to be high value. Right, those guys, they don't look. I mean, look at them. Their hands are dirty. They work with their hands. Ew, they're not high value. You want a good 6-figure paying job, right? And you're only gonna do that with degrees because companies are only hiring people with degrees.
But look at it this aspect. Even if you're a female and don't like, if I teach you 4 years of automotive, and you go to the corporate level, if you can take your car to the dealership, you'll know how to, if they're not trying to scam you or trying to take advantage of you. You
know? Boom. And sometimes these mechanics, just like some of these sales reps, where they look at you and they'll know if you're green or if you know what you're talking about. Some of these mechanics, they'll look at you and say, "Oh, okay, this person don't look like they really know shit about what's happening here. So let me just see what I can add on to it." Because you don't know. I've had how many times I've had my girl get over freaking charged for oil changes because she bought all these little things that she don't need. Right? They take your air filter out your car and they say, "Hey, look at this little dirt. Look at this little dirt on your air filter, right? It's gonna slow your car down, and you got to change it, and it's gonna be $30."
Well,
I'm $70 oil change.
I'm an independent, so I'm not at the dealer level. So I know that's an upsell. That's they're trained to do that. So
yeah,
it's just their bosses push them to upsell. That's part of part of the gig. That's what they do at the dealer level.
Absolutely. So but here's the thing. Even being in the service side of things, right? There's also a bit of sales involved in that.
Yes,
correct.
It's a pitch. I mean, if you don't upsell it to the customer, you ain't gonna make sales. If you don't make sales, you don't make money. So some of them are commission based. So
that's right. That's right. So that's even an important thing. Like when we talk about service, and people don't realize when it comes to dealerships, the service center is the lifeblood of the dealership. That's just real, like real talk. Matter of fact, some dealerships start out as just automotive shops. That's an internal dealerships, right? So the service department is the heart and soul of every dealer. It's actually the most consistent moneymaker for them because listen,
I agree with you. I would say that's a 60-70% revenue at the dealership level. Everything else is
absolutely. Absolutely, because you can sell the car, but you can only sell it once. Well, guess what? If the salesperson does a good enough goddamn job, right, selling that, the customer is going to keep coming back to get their service done because the cars, they need servicing, right? They need stuff working on it. So that's the thing. People don't understand how important that is. But even when you're in the service part, you still got to sell. You still got to be able to understand how to talk to people, right? How to move things and, say things in the right way to get the desired result. You still got to be able to do that. Otherwise, you're just going to be an average person, right? So even in situations where you would think that sales isn't involved, sales is involved. And what's the crux of that? The crux of that is just being able to interpersonal communicate, to look at the other person and be able to ask questions, put yourself in the other person's shoes, be able to focus on that to understand the real issue, to offer the right recommendations. It's not that hard. And this is what I try to tell people all the time when they follow these different things. All these skills can be learned out there. All this shit that people are go look at one of these courses and tell me if you find any of these little ideas that I just dropped here. You will not see any of these knowledge in those books because it's all regurgitated generic garbage. So when people say, "Oh, well, how the hell do you know what it is you're talking about?" I just dropped something on y'all.
Yeah, dude.
Go ahead.
I'm just about to. I don't want to interrupt you. I'm about to drop a channel in January 2022, so I might bring you on.
So we can drop it in the chat and let me know too. I'll pop in.
I'm about to. I might just drop you in a collaboration. Talk about all this. because you're a
down.
salesman. You're right up my alleyway. So we're not too different. You branch off of a different tree, but we're all in the same under the same roof.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because and that's the thing. I spent so long in this business, man, and that's the thing. You get when you deal with enough people, you get to understand the characteristics and patterns that people behave in, and you get to understand that when we even talked about the first issue, right, that are facing a lot of salespeople, the first issue that's facing a lot of dudes out there who are trying to prospect for either relationships, because these skills, y'all saw how easily some of these skills can transition into the sales, into the relationship, and just the real world, right? You see how easily like some of these situations, scenario, they sound very similar. Matter of fact, it seems like they run in parallels, because what is the common denominator in these factors? It's people. It's people. So when you sat down and you talk to enough people, you've done enough things, and you've dealt with enough bullshit, because people do come with their own set of bullshit. Not just women, men. Y'all got bullshit too.
I'm a, I'm
So
a,
when people,
no, go ahead. I'm gonna tell you something about we
all
just
right.
dropped right
So
now.
when you come with all that bullshit, you don't realize that people pick up on that patterns. And when you pick up on that patterns, you tend to understand that even when the person says 2 or 3 things out of your mouth, out of their mouths, you already know what the fucking person's all about. Okay, I'm gonna put you in this category. Maybe you're not really even looking to buy, sir. Hey, listen. All right. Are you actually gonna make, if I were to find you, and this is one of the questions that I'll ask to make sure if I have somebody who's a non-buyer or a buyer, right? This is the one that when I say step with the pressure, this is an example, right? I go through my rapport, the meet and greet, go through all of that, and I say, hey, Mr. Customer, just a simple question, right? I mean, we kind of got an idea what you're looking for. We kind of put that all together, right? If I can find you what you're looking for at the price point that you're looking for, all right, the color, everything matches and whatnot, right? What else will be preventing you from signing on that dotted line? I'm putting you on the spot right there. If I get you every single thing that you want, what is going to stop you from saying yes to me? I'm already pulling the possibility of an objection if that were to come around, right? Because
That's
let's say
the
the customer does lie and says, well, no, they wouldn't do me nothing, right? If you give me everything I want,
it's
well, I'm just
so
going to sign. And then get to the end and say, well, listen, I got to go talk to my wife. I got to talk to the wife.
so
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen. But then I
so
can come back and say, well, you told me that if I got you everything that you wanted at the price point that you wanted, the mileage that you wanted, that there was nothing else stopping you. So what is this? Go ahead.
so low key. That's a vetting process that you just did right now. That's a
Yep.
vetting process. So when you ask that question, you put them on blast and saying, are you here to buy or are you here to waste my time? You just put it in, diplomatic, manically to him so he don't.
That's it. And you even notice this guy. I gotta make the parallel relationships. You notice this with a lot of guys, right? They put themselves in these friend zones. They put themselves in these different zones, right? Because they're afraid to ask the woman, "Hey, listen, man, I'm not really interested in like being your friends like that. You got your buddies for that, but I mean, I'm looking at you, and I like what I like what I see, and I think we can do something more. I mean, if you're not up for that, that's fine, but I'm not down for no friends.
Yeah, and what
You'll
you said
find
about
out. You will find out right there, because if she's just out here shopping you, if she's a non-buyer, she'd be like, she'll double down and say, "Oh, wait a minute."
when you did your training, Duke, when you were trained to be a sales rep,
Yeah,
the first thing you were trained to do was to be a people person.
yeah,
Um, but a lot of the things they teach you aren't really based on reality of what you're going to face out there because you don't ever know what's going to come through that door. You never know
boom,
what's going to. So when you talked about not only women but also men, um, if somebody approaches me from the grip, if they come at me from a wrong angle, and they start with this nonsense, because most of the time somebody cut them off or they had a fight with their girlfriend, wife, or
mm-hmm.
whatever. I'm a work on the hood of your car. I'm an auto technician. If you're already putting me on blast and I haven't even touched your car, we haven't gone to the hood. I'm not gonna work on your car. I'm gonna just politely send you back to like a U-turn sign. Go back out that door. Have a nice
Yeah,
day.
yeah. And listen, that's a way to handle it, because you're standing your ground and you're gonna be like, listen, I ain't like that. No, that's not what this all about. All right, you're gonna come in here, you're gonna respect the process, you're gonna respect the program, and you're gonna have to leave. I can't sit there and have you be unruly, because guess what? You let that behavior slide, there's more bullshit coming down the pipeline, ain't it? The customer ain't always right.
but there, that's what I say. That's why I'm going to drop that first. That's going to be one of my first topics. The customer is never right. 98% of the time they're wrong. Only a 2%. It's a marginal 2% that I think they're correct most of the time.
And for that situation, I want to give a diplomatic solution, right? A diplomatic solution for that would be if someone's coming in unruly. I use this all the time, right? Even with the girls you're dealing with or the customers you're dealing with, right? Some of you out there in the chat right now who work in customer service, right? You want to know this. If someone comes with you and they got an attitude, they're screaming, yelling, there's just do this, do that, right? Holding through the ringer. I said, hold on, time out. Whoa. It's 10 in the morning. And you, what's going on? Because you don't know me and I don't know you. So I can't possibly be the reason why you're angry. What's going on today? Right? And before you know it, person's like, oh shit, my bad, dog. My mama, she's getting on my ass right now. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it. And I'm sorry I came here. I took it out on you, right? A lot of times when people behave in certain ways, you got to understand it's not you. It's a lot of times a lot to do with them, right? Because they're not right. You see what I'm saying?
Continue. Yeah. So when you talk about the other thing that I know you've done it before, you have like between us and the automotive and anybody that works in the customer service, it's different because we have a room for cushion to get the customer off or get the monkey off our back. Yeah. So we can just like you in the car sales, you can say, well, we don't have that model, or it's on back order, or we haven't received a shipment, and he's out that door because he ain't gonna buy. He just wasted time. Yeah. And me, I know a customer from the grip. As soon as he opens that mouth and you speak something, I know that he's not looking to do it. He's just wasting my time. So off the grip, I know a lot of car salesmen have done that vetting. They applied it to me, and it's no knock on them. It's just you never know who you're dealing with.
Exactly, and sometimes. No, you're absolutely right. And sometimes people need to understand who the hell it is that they're dealing with. And that's a big problem. A lot of people, you go into situations not trying to figure out what you're dealing with and hoping that the idea that you have in your head of selling that is going to lead you to be able to close the deal later on. And you're not prepared for what the hell is going to happen later. You are not prepared. So when you get the boot or she says no, or she ghosts you, or any of these things happen, you're wondering what the fuck happened because you were dealing with a non-buyer, someone who didn't give a shit. So I think the crux of this is a lot of y'all need to start holding people to task, and you need to start practicing holding people to task, holding people accountable. Everybody around you, because this is about, at the end, you making sure that you get to what you want and the other person gets what they want out of it. That's literally how you can leave having an amicable situation where both parties leave getting what they want. You solve the issue for the potential prospect, and they've solved the issue for you because you got their paycheck.
Yeah, you know something, Duke? We don't have a lot of people coming up in the chat. We're talking automotive, so
right? No. We don't. That's the thing. It's cool. A lot of these. Here's the thing. It's not even just that we're talking automotive. It's just some of this stuff. Right, that when you go into it, a lot of times you get to understand that the people who are here right now, shout out to you, people who are here, left, come back, rewatch it. Shout out to you guys watching this, right? Because this is something, we're gonna do more of this, by the way. There's gonna be a lot more. Dude, this is mode 1. This is base 1. Shout out to you, Obsidian, right? This is number 1. There's so many parts to this. I'm going to make it a Monday series. This is going to be a Monday series. We're going to educate you guys on interpersonal skills. I'm going to turn you all into sales demon. By the time y'all done with these Monday series, man, y'all going to be leaving out here selling ovens to ice cubes. That's what's going to happen, right? Because this is going to help you guys be a lot better and a lot more comfortable and confident when you're dealing with people. Some of you guys who are doing your own business, starting your own business, or looking to be entrepreneurs, this is also going to give you the confidence to be able to do something. But I'm going to tell you this. Interpersonal communication skills, sales skills are very important, because in the end, it doesn't matter what the fuck you have. If I have nothing, you take all my money from me, you take everything from me, and I got little pins, right? I got a stash of pins, right? And this is all I have to my name. If I figure out how to sell this fucking stash of pins, I can make myself my money. I can make myself comfortable. If I learn how to deal with other people, if I learn how to take the money out of your wallet and put it into mine, just by using my words, not by force, not by anything. If I can get you to comply, if I get you to cooperate with me, just with the words, to get your money from your wallet into mine, to get your time for dating from you to focus on me, to do what I need you to do. I got to be able to use the word mouth. I got to be able to use my words, craft my words and questions in the right way to get you to be a buyer or
Yeah,
to make. Go ahead.
Duke. A lot of stuff you're talking about. You're bringing reality, um, from reality of what you experience in the car salesman, and you're able to put in a perspective of what came in the dating, in the dating game. So you were able to compare back and forth. You're bringing reality from what you experienced into the cloud of the YouTube streets, and that's
Yeah.
nobody's talking about this.
That's it. So when people try to like say, "Oh, well, you're just when you're talking about all these other guys, you don't know what you're talking about. These guys are successful. These guys are." I'm like, what are you talking about? I've been a sales manager. I worked in was it insurance? Insurance and then banking, right? I call that finance. I'll put that in one industry, right? Auto sales is a little bit different, right? But the third one would be cell phones. I've spent 8 years. I've been in all those industries. I've sold for all different characters and different types of people. I've been on all different types of training. Matter of fact, in the auto business in Wisconsin, there's this dealership called Ernie Von Schledorn. Shout out to you guys, right? And Ernie Von Schledorn is actually the guy. That's his name. He his name on the dealership. But in Wisconsin back in the day, there were only 3 people that you knew. All right, that's the president, the governor, and Ernie Von Schledorn. And the reason why is because this man was such a goddamn good salesman when he started his business, when he started his garage. This guy was so goddamn good at marketing, getting his products out there, that he got the whole town, Menominee Falls up there. He got the whole town fucking with him, coming over. He would host carnivals, like little carnivals. He had a thing with elephants. He'll come in and do the stuff. So everyone in the town thought he was a nice guy. But you go sell for Ernie. Ernie was a ruthless man. Ernie
Yeah,
was a ruthless businessman. This nigga, what this dude was doing, his old German dude too, right? And let me tell you this. He died a billionaire. He passed away sadly, almost a billionaire, right? But I'm sure his kids probably got the net worth up to that point. But he died almost with $800 million in the bank account. And he came in, immigrant from Germany. He came in with $100 in his pocket and was able to make something out of himself, up to $1 billion before he died, almost $1 billion before he died. And what this dude would do, the way he would motivate his sales rep, this guy was ruthless, man. What he would do, and it was my favorite things, if he knows that this person is slowing down and we got to get the numbers to the end of the month and, the crew needs that extra motivation, you know what this dude would do? He would send unsigned checks to if the salespeople who had wives or who were married, who had girlfriends or whatever, it's usually if they had wives, he would send unsigned checks, right? Usually $500 to $1,000 based on what he thinks that particular rep would do, right? And he sends that to the wife and with a note saying, hey, listen, if your husband sells 15 or 25 units, you get this bonus by the end of this month. If he sells those deals, you bring that check to me and I'll sign it. That's the kind of shit that, and guess what? When these sales dudes would go home, guess who's waiting for him?
the check.
Hey, honey, how was your day? Did you sell any cars? All of a sudden, your wife's interested in what you're doing. All of a sudden, they're trying to figure out, they're trying to motivate you to sell. That's how crazy this nigga was. Ernie wasn't playing. He would do what he needed to do to win. Matter of fact, in Wisconsin, you can't sell cars on Sundays. You can't do any of that on Sundays. But what people will do on Sundays, they'll come into the lot, they'll drive around to look at the car lot because they know they're not going to get bothered by a salesperson. What Ernie would do, this nigga is so fucking crazy. What Ernie would do, he would hide in his office because the way the office was structured, right? You could see anyone coming into the lot. You could see anyone coming out. You could see what's going on. And it was mad illegal before they had the state had him stop doing it. But what he would then do is he would watch and write down the license plates of the people driving in and around that motherfucker. And then try to contact them. Try to get in touch with them. That's how crazy this motherfucker was. So this dude knows how to go for the jugular, and it made him successful. It made him a billionaire. Now, unfortunately, he died, but that's the thing, right? So when you're talking about the difference between people who sell and who are trying to be successful, between people who are actually winners, these are the shit they do.
And his marketing strategy, which you're talking about, him doesn't only apply to the car salesman. It also applies to your daily life. I mean, you have to market yourself, put yourself out there, and you have to position yourself. Once you position yourself, you'll stand out amongst the crowd. So you're not the 98% of other males. You'll be the 2% of other guys.
Exactly. Poppy Blanco, welcome to the chat. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, how you doing tonight?
We doing good. We doing good. We talking
Brother?
about sales. We talking about interpersonal communication. We talking about a whole lot. Let me get the super chat. KS, thank you for the $5 super chat. How to read people. I struggle with this. I'm thinking about outcomes. I talked to cashier at Publix, and some of them got degrees. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this, KS. It's a struggling thing to read people, but the easiest way to do it is to people watch, right? And one of the ways that I used to do this is I would literally go out in Publix. I would force myself to be in public situations where I would just watch people, right? It's like you're in a zoo and you're watching the human animal, right? The human animal, you're watching them in a natural habitat, whether it's at the mall, at the carnival, at a fair, or the gym, or wherever the fuck it is you meet these people, right? You are observing the human animal. You're observing the patterns they behave. You're observing how they interact. When somebody approaches them, you're observing how they're observing that other person approach them. You're observing the mannerisms. You're observing the details, right? And you're observing how that interaction is going. And while you're observing that, you're also making predictive assumptions, right? No, they're assumptions, okay? Let's just make that clear. And you guys have to remember their assumptions because you don't have to take them as opinions or facts. So if you see someone talking to each other, you kind of guess, okay, what it is they're talking about, how it is based off the body language. You're actively reading other people in third person. And once you keep doing that, you start to understand different kind of patterns, right? And one of them would be someone who's confident based on how they're walking, and basically someone who's unconfident based on how they're moving, right? You start to pick up these little cues. Or when this person approaches a girl or approaches a situation, if their hands are like this, they're touching themselves, they're touching the body, they have this closed off language. You say, oh, this nigga nervous.
So
you can look at somebody like Donnie Boy on a panel, right? This guy can say, he says he gets all these broads, he's been banging all these 8s and 9s, right? And you see him on a Fresh and Fit panel and how he interacts with the girls. You see the body language, you're like, nah, bro. There's no way. I'm saying how you in right now. There's no way. If this is how you acting, there's no way these broads, there's no way you're banging 8 and 9s. There's no way. So that's why I can say that you're capping, because I've been watching enough people to know people like you, Donnie Boy. That's why I can say y'all capping, because I've watched enough people. I've been around enough people to know who the fuck y'all are, Fresh and Fit. That's how we know. Because, nigga, we live in the real world, dog. I'm sorry. So I know. So if you want to be good with people, KS, start with this. Go out there and start not talking to people, watching people. Watch them real closely. Every single person, watch them. Watch how they behave. And then when you get good enough at being predictive at what people potentially may do and what they can't do, then you go out and interact with people.
I have a good idea for KS.
Go ahead.
If you go to a restaurant, any of the four corners, sit down in the four corners, sit down, eat your food, and be absorbent. Don't be like too much. Don't be like just being like you're thirsty or something, looking like you're thirsty. But watch people's mannerism, how they behave, patterns. If you look long enough, you'll see a pattern or trend. And most of the time, you're 90% of the time, you're right.
You know what the crazy thing is, Bernie L? A lot of people fail to realize that the human animal, we operate on patterns. That's why I said this shit's easy. This shit's fucking easy, dog. I don't even care about your looks if you're a woman. I don't care if you're a 10. I don't care if you're a fucking 9. I don't care if you're 8. I don't care what kind of grade scale you are. I don't give a shit. I understand the human animal. I see beyond that. That's how you see beyond the goddamn mask.
Just
you understand the motivation behind the mask, because I told you before, customers lie. People lie. They walk into your business. When a girl approaches you or a man approaches you, they're wearing their mask. They have their best foot forward. And it's up to you to chip at it, to uncover the motivations behind that. And we are already built, and this is a crazy thing, Poppy. This is a crazy thing, Bernie. Human beings are already built. We're the best pattern readers out there. We're the best goddamn species out there. If you want to talk about understanding patterns, understanding behaviors, we're the best at it. Ain't nobody else can tell us. We can understand the patterns on every single species on this earth, on this planet. We understand the patterns and how they behave. We can predict how they're going to behave. So much to the point we hunt some of these animals, we do some of these different things, but we understand the patterns. So you mean to tell me we can understand the patterns of all these different animals out there and how they behave, and yet we can't understand the patterns of the human animal? The problem is y'all forget Y'all still stuck in your own head. Y'all forget that y'all animals yourselves. You ain't shit. Ain't nobody shit here. That's why I say I ain't shit, because I'm a goddamn animal. You're a goddamn animal. We're human animals. So once
There's
you get
one
into that
more,
mode of thinking and understanding, I'm dealing with another animal, another
one
being,
more.
another animal. And this is how these animals tend to behave. And that's not a bad thing, right? Human beings, when they're pressed in a tough situation, they tend to behave this way. When they're happy, they tend to behave this way. And you
So I
start to
just
break down those patterns. Go ahead.
wanted to elaborate on what you're saying about the our animal instincts. There's also one thing that a lot of people forget is they have that gut feeling. Believe me, if you have that gut feeling,
I call
you
it the
start
human lie
getting
detector, the
you start
natural lie
you
detector.
start getting these feelings. This person is lying to you, or listen to it because it can really save your ass from either if something's not right and you feel the feeling's not right, don't do it. You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing, Bernie. A lot of us right now is that we have our gut feelings. And there's a reason why I call it the human lie detector test, right? Because we all have this, right? And Mother Nature has blessed every single one of us with the tools that we need in order to freaking navigate this world, to navigate this hell that we live in, right? To be able to build our own heaven on this hell that we live in. Human beings were born, Mother Nature has imprinted all of that to us. But the problem is, especially with the pattern recognitions, the gut feelings, understanding your senses that, when I'm in a good situation, when I'm not in a good situation. But a lot of us have chosen to ignore a lot of these gifts, a lot of these attributes that are given to us. We feel them. Some of us call it anxiety. Some of us call it depression. Some of us call it mental illness, all these different things, because we don't take the time to understand ourselves. Now, I'm not saying those things don't exist outside of that. I'm just saying some of the root causes, if you dig deep enough into things like anxiety, into things like depression and stuff like that, they come from the feelings, the natural detectors that you have within you, but you're not paying attention to. Matter of fact, you neglect, and it eats you alive. So then you hop on this opioids to make the feeling go
You want
away,
to
but
see a
they
good
don't.
you want to take a good school or learn about animal patterns. Watch
Yeah,
Discovery Channel, Predator versus Prey, or watch those channels. Watch the animals. You'll see who's the prey and the predator. And it applies to the same in life. You can see when you walk into a restaurant and sit down, you'll see who's the predator, who's the prey, who's the grass-eating lion. You'll see all
yeah,
those patterns. Everything comes into perspective.
absolutely. Go ahead, Poppy. You have anything to add to?
Yeah. I want to say good evening. Let me start saying that. Good evening to the chat. How you doing,
Good
Ernie?
You.
How you doing, my man? Dude. So let me start by saying like I'm getting familiar with the selling car business myself. I just started a little small business myself selling cars. So in order for you to be successful in selling in life, you have to be a people's person.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you have to be able to know how to communicate with people. You need to find out what are the needs, what the person is looking for, and trying to figure it out how can you feel those things. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You need to find out what people like, what they don't like. You see what I'm saying? What are they accustomed, what they had before, so you can have a pretty good understanding what they're looking for. And just like you said earlier, selling applies to pretty much everything in life because
Mm-hmm.
everything is for sale. Everything is for sale. Like when a man is looking for a woman, he's selling himself. He's trying to show that woman that he is the best candidate out there.
Yep.
Vice versa, the woman too. She have to let him know that she's the best woman that he can possibly find.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like if you are good in sales, people that are usually good in sales are people that usually are accomplished, successful, because our people's person. They know how to move. They know how to entertain a room. They know how to they know how to put A, B, and C together.
Absolutely. And
That's how it works.
you know what's crazy? Like you see some of these guys, right? These Stanny boys, right, of the world. They come in, especially when you criticize some of these videos. They say, "Oh, you don't have any money. Who are you? You don't have this and that. You don't." It's like thanks to sales, thanks to the shit that these guys aren't even teaching you. I was making more money before these niggas started making their money. I was already at the six-figure mark before these guys got in their 30s and become great value males. I've already did that. Why? Because I was in sales. When I dropped out of college, right? Because I was, and part of it was when I was going in for aerospace engineering, part of it was doing it for my moms, right? Because we Nigerians, we always got to show out. My mom, she likes to brag. The one thing about Nigerian moms, they like to go when we, especially when we go into social settings, they like to brag as hell. Oh, my son, he's a graduate of UW Madison. Matter of, she got pissed off because I got accepted to Madison, which is the big college school over here. I got accepted to go there, but I didn't want to go, right? Because first of all, they didn't have the engineering program that I wanted to go to that she would be proud of. But two, it was a big school, and I'm a lazy motherfucker. I don't like to wake up. I did the tour for it, and you had to take buses, literally city buses, to get to the different parts of the campus. That's how big Madison was. And I'm like, nigga, I'm naturally just late to places. I'm gonna be late waiting for the damn bus. So that's already dead. So I went to Dubuque. It's a smaller private school, but they had the program that I wanted. But when I dropped out, my mama said, she said, what, you're never gonna, you're not gonna make money. You're not gonna be successful. What is going on? Like, why would you do this? Right? Look at your brother. You're doing the selling thing. You're selling cars, commission. That's what she was saying. Why do this commission? The commission is not guaranteed. You're not gonna be making money. Your income is not guaranteed. Look at your brother. Look what he's doing. And you know what happened? After that first year, I got into the car business, right? It was a little rough, but, made about $60K, doing my thing. And soon as my income started to go up, right? Because my desk was bringing in at least $80,000 grossing in sales. $80,000 gross a month. That's what my desk was bringing in. Highest grossing sales desk on that floor, month after goddamn month. 25 to 30 units pushed. Hands down, your boy did it. Your boy did it consistently, right? And what ended up happening was, at first I started for the independent dealers, but then I graduated and started actually selling for enterprises. And the main one I stuck with was Ford. I would always stick with Ford dealers now because I'm like, hey, first of all, the shitty Mazda I was driving, the motor that was in there was made by Ford. Even though everything was breaking down and everything, the 2003 was the year I had it. Even though the bumpers, everything was falling off, that shit held strong, right? And it was made by Ford. It was.
Do you know the abbreviation for Ford?
Huh?
Do you know the abbreviation? Fix or repair daily.
Listen. Once I found out that old thing I was driving was built by Ford, I'm like, this bitch has been so reliable to me. If I'm gonna go anything enterprise wise, I'm not going to a Toyota dealer. I'm not going to a Kia dealer. I'm going to a Ford dealer, and that's what I did. And ironically, or coincidentally, my brother also worked for Ford. My brother was on the corporate side of things, and he was the guy that would go in to drive the different dealerships in his area and then go ahead and try to like talk to them and see if they need more things on it. He actually worked with the service department more than anything else. All right. So he'll go to different things, trying to figure out what's going on and help out with sales. He was there, the Ford guy that would come in. Right. And sometimes he'll talk to the F&I's guys to figure out what's going on and why, if they need to order more cars or what's happening and things like that. Right. And there was a one time they were going through, this was back in 2017, I think. And they were going through an issue where the CEO got fired, Alan something or whatever his name was, and they were saying, or he was about to go out the door, and they sent the message to basically everyone at that corporate level saying, Ford-wise, saying, hey, we're about to fire or get rid of 3% of our non-commissioned workforce. My brother got that email. He called my mom. He says, Mom, and he was in New Jersey at the time. That's where they had him stationed. He was like, Mom, I just got this email. I don't know what's going on. Like, whatever. My mom was freaking out. They didn't know what the hell was happening. And as soon as I got it, I started laughing. I was laughing my ass off. You know why? Especially not my brother. I was laughing at my mom because she was worried, right? And the reason I was laughing, I was like, Mom, I'm in commission. And guess who they're firing? The niggas that ain't me. So if you want to talk about a job that's more guaranteed, I'm going to tell you this. Sales and marketing is the lifeblood of any fucking operation that relies on people. Sales and marketing. That's the team that under any circumstances ain't nobody cutting. Maybe the marketing a little bit. Maybe the budget's too high. They'll cut that down. But sales-wise, they invest in that motherfucker because that's the lifeblood of every single organization, and they know it. But y'all non-commissioned guys, y'all admin guys, right? Your administration guys who with the business degrees and whatnot. Nah, we want the guys who are actually on the ground floor making us money.
That's the blood of the business.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's how important this is. So I don't give a fuck this commission. My job is guaranteed, and it's guaranteed by me. Because as long as I know what I keep doing, I keep putting them numbers up, my paycheck's going to be there, and my job's going to be there. Matter of fact, I even get special privileges. That's right. If you're a top selling sales guy in the building, not only are you making yourself money, but guess who else you're making money? You're making F&I department money. And guess what? When they're making money, they want to make sure that they treat the top guy good, right? So maybe there are deals that they wouldn't otherwise push through because it's the baby dick deals. That's what we call it, the baby dick deals, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the car base behind the scenes, the car business is wild, dog.
Hey, dude.
Go ahead.
Watch these content creators try to create the next couple of days, trying to put a suit on and try to talk automotive and game all together.
They can't do it because it's not real. They don't have that experience. So some of these baby dick deals that they could have put together, and here's what y'all don't realize: some of y'all who got bad credit watching this, a lot of times when you go into a dealership, they can get you approved, right? Sometimes you got to put in a little work, maybe devaluing the car a little bit, or maybe overvaluing your trade. Sometimes they'll do these Nigerian buybacks, and this is why I left my first dealership I was working, because I did a whole lot of them, motherfuckers, right? And Nigerian buyback, I don't know if you're familiar with that, Bernie L. Let me break this down for y'all in the chat.
It's Nigerian, law, right? Huh? You're talking about the lemon law?
Well, it's part of it, but not necessarily. So essentially, what you're doing, Nigerian buyback, right? So you got a customer, and let's say they don't have enough down payment, but their trade, it's a piece of shit, and to us, it's worth about $200. The customer thinks it's like $1,000 or whatnot, but we break it down to them. If you're a good salesman, you say, hey, listen, right? While I'm doing my walk around your vehicle, I'm pointing at everything that you just fuck up about it. Your shit stinks, basically.
It's a book.
All right. All right. So I devalue your car, and let's say it's worth about $200, and we're short, and you only got a $500 down payment. So if I was going to take in a trade, now we only have $700. But the problem is your credit's not good enough for the special finance program that we're going to get you in, and maybe we don't want to devalue the car because this is the lowest we can go on it. Or maybe we could, but realistically, what we're going to do? You got that trade, right? Oh yeah. It's that piece of shit Honda Civic 2003, right? Yeah. It's got leather seats, right? No. It's got leather seats, right? No, man, it's cloth, bro. It's got leather seats, right?
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's got leather seats. Oh, okay. It's got the sunroof in there too. Yeah. It's got the sunroof and whatnot. So they start bringing out all these different stuff, right? To guess what? Add value to it. And what they do is then say, well, listen. Or sometimes what they'll even do, which is crazy, this is extremely they'll go. Sometimes what they'll not only do they overdrive the trade to basically try to sell the bank on it, sometimes it'd be crazier. If it's a shitty trade, we'll buy it from them for $1. Or no, we'll have them sell it to us for $1, which is the same thing. And then sell it back to them at an actual, let's say $1,000. Say, okay, we'll sell you this car, or we'll buy this car from you for $1,000 or whatever the fuck it is, right? And we put that amount on the deal, right? Because guess what? The bank isn't looking at the car; they don't see the vehicle at all, right? So for what they know is based on what the F&I guy is telling them. So they're building the value and say, hey, we just got this guy's trade, and we're buying it for $1,000. It's worth about that much. So we're gonna stick it here. And then that adds towards their down payment. So if they had a $500 down payment, now they have an extra $1,000 in equity they can roll right into the next vehicle. And if the bank only approved them for $6,500 total, now they got another $1,500 applied to it. Now they can get something nicer. They can get you approved. But sometimes what people don't realize is when customers come in with shitty attitude, the customers are unwilling to cooperate, right? Or let's say the salesperson isn't even on the sales side, isn't really a salesperson that knows how to put in the work and really make money for the guys back there. A lot of times the F&I guys, they won't put that deal together. They'll just tell you, sorry, she's not approved. Get out of here. Get her out of here. She's not approved. Get her out of here. That's what it is. So y'all don't know what this shit goes on back there, but your attitude makes a difference, bro. Your attitude and the way you're able to rub things and build relationships with people, it makes a difference. It really does. And once the way you know that you're doing it, the way you know that you're building these tight relations, these networks, and you're basically building yourself into a bona fide goddamn sales demon, or even just a people demon, is when people around you start making special exemptions for you. right? They start putting you in certain places, like little elevated spots here, right? It almost seems like when you're in your little group, it's ran like a goddamn mafia, right? And you understand the hierarchy of the roles. As long as you keep doing what you're doing, those gifts keep giving, right? So I'll even tell you this: that $100,000 I was making, majority of it, I won't say majority of it, some of it came from those extra deals that the F&I guys were willing to put up for me because I did the work and putting the relationship up in the past. They would say, okay, listen, you're about to hit 20, you're about 29 cars in, you're about to have your 30. I'm gonna just give you this one. I'm taking a hit on this, but you got this. Just get you that 30 car, you get that next bonus tier, and you're good. So that's how this shit works. Even in the real world, you know how to schmooze things with people. You know how to be a people person. It don't matter where you go into, people are always going to treat you a little bit differently.
It's called
They
looking
look
out
at you a
for
little
them.
bit. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? But no one else is talking about this.
It's called privilege.
No one else is talking about that. You can go into any fucking establishment that you want, and niggas will treat you like a goddamn king because you understand how to treat them.
You know
You
what?
see that everywhere, though. You see that
know how
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Think
That's
about.
why you wonder. Hold on, let me just say this. You wonder why this person gets special treatment over you? It's because they understand how to demand it. They understand how to craft things and how to be part of groups, how to be part of networks, and understand how shit works. Go ahead.
You want to know how you determine if a car salesman is a real one?
How you?
When the bank car auditor comes in, if he maintains the same frame with customers than the bank auditor, he's a real one.
Yep. Yeah, and we've had some of that. Oh God, I ain't gonna bring no names in here, but I would say this: I had a scary moment in one of those dealerships because the one where I made the most amount of money, we did some things. But when we had the DOT guys walking up around in there, I was like, hey, time to go, time to beeline it. But that's the thing with dealers too as well. A lot of y'all don't know. A lot of dealers on some shady shit. Even some of these big enterprise dealers. And they be on some shady shit, y'all. Y'all don't really understand. Pink Karma Podcast. Shout out to you for the $5 super chat. Since you said you don't want a friend, what is the time limit before you chose to walk away? Since I need something platonic before I get into anything. Well, here's the thing. The time limit depends on the communication skills of the woman I'm dealing with at the moment. Because I can spend time with the woman, right? And let's say if she wants something just platonic at first. And see, even that, there's a problem. Right, because platonic means that we're not escalating. There's not going to be anything extra. We're just going to keep it at this level. All right. So when you're coming into that situation and you're trying to deal with a man, and he understands you're looking for something platonic, right? To them, they're not going to know. Well, when is it going to be turned to something real, right? What else am I going to? How long am I going to be in the platonic category before it turns into? Do I have to say something? Do I have to do something? Right. So when you play those kind of games, you actually run the risk of losing. All right. Let me tell you why. You run the risk of losing because after you play that platonic game, well, guess what? You're getting something out of it, but he's not really getting something out of it, right? And he's too nervous to demand what he wants out of it, which is the box. Let's just be real, right? The box, or at least get the, touch you physically or somehow, right? Maybe kiss you, whatever the fuck. So, but you're getting the time he's spending with you, and what you think that you're trying to get from this guy is that, oh, you spend enough time with me, I get to know you, and well, and you get to know me, that we can craft something special because we're coming from a platonic place. And what ends up happening is the guy starts to build resentment, at least on the back end, right? Because he's in a spot where he's in a limbo. He doesn't really know where this is going or how long it's going to take. He feels like his time's being wasted. And you know what I said in the last couple segments, right? If the prospect that you're dealing with feels like their time is going to be wasted, they're going to get you back. They're going to get you back. Oh, yeah, you can sit there. Oh, we'll play this platonic role. Okay. You want to play this? Okay, that's fine. We'll play this platonic role. I'm going to go ahead and do my thing over here, whatever the fuck. And I'll probably deal with you every once so often. But once I convinced you enough that, or been with you enough that I'm going to get that box. And some guys, they're good at faking. They're good future fakers. Once especially when they make it up in their mind that they're going to be on some demon timing because you're not cooperating what they want, now they're going to be playing with you. Now they'll be like, all right, let me play this role real quick. They're going to be doing something on the side with another girl probably, right? They're going to be doing something else while they're platonic with you. And then the more they're with you, well, guess what? Then they're playing this game, the more inclined that you're going to fall in love with them, right? And when you finally do decide to give up the box, what he's been wanting on along, post not clarity and he's gone. You get ghosted. It's over with. And you're sitting there wondering, well, where the hell did I go wrong? What you need to do, instead of selling yourself and selling platonicness and all that nonsense. You need to come up with a strategy. So when you go into the situation, say, hey, listen, I'm looking for something potentially more. And real talk, I'm feeling you. I'm feeling this, and I think we can go somewhere. But I hope you understand where I'm coming from. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I need. You're filtering out the non-buyers, the future fakers.
I want to add to your
go ahead
to what you were elaborating on what you're saying. So I think what she's saying is so the vetting process should be about 12 to 18 months, but to further elaborate on it, I think it should be like you should tell her from the grip. You're free to. You're not being forced here. You're welcome to leave anytime. And you don't know if she's dealing with other men, but more than likely she'll start to.
But that's what the guys are also going to be thinking. That's going to add to the resentment. Especially some of these new age guys, they're going to think hands down you're talking to other dudes. And chances are you are talking to other dudes. And most guys know that. So that's adding to the resentment factor because chances are if you're talking to another dude, there's another dude probably out there that can probably break that platonic barrier faster than the other dude you're dealing with, right? So that's the thing. It starts to get concluded. And we're just to add to that point, I think when she says platonic means just strictly just keeping it on a non-physical level, right? So you need to have some, if anything, the best way to do it is more like a friends with benefits situation, right? And not you actively stating that as being known, but you obviously saying, okay, this is kind of what I'm looking for. But until then, I'm gonna give you a little something while I'm getting a little something out of it. And while I'm doing that, I'm also showing other things. I'm also displaying other aspects of myself that can prove indispensable from the program that you're trying to develop. I can do that, right? And then before you know it, you start to grow on the dude. Because guess what? What the secret that most guys don't want to tell you, if we fuck you more than 3 times, we start to fall in love. Most guys actually out there, actually majority of guys out there, they get the box more than once, couple times, 3 times, they start to get sprung a little bit, right? Now you got a small percentage of demon timing guys out there that they don't give a shit. They out here just slipping and sliding, getting in and out. But the vast majority of men that you'll encounter, you give them the box long enough, you put the personality on them, you put yourself on them like that, they're gonna fall in love real freaking quick. And then you get the outcome that you were looking for. But with this, essentially happens, people play games. No, I know you don't think it's playing games, but guys see that as that way. The way of vetting is to getting all that nonsense out up front. Not saying, okay, I'm going to say, hey, first of all, there's nothing wrong with making them wait. But if you're making them wait in a platonic setting, that means it can be anywhere from a week to goddamn 9 months. That's what it is, right? And that's what's running through the guy's head, right? It's not saying that. If you make it wait, let's say a week or something like that before he gets the box, maybe even 2 weeks, right? Before he gets the box. 2 weeks, I'd say if you're trying to chase what you're looking for after here, right? And that's what some dude who doesn't have a whole lot of options is willing to deal with it. And you'll find those guys out there. They're out there, right? And we ain't those channels that say you guys aren't going to do it because I know niggas that do that shit. So they're out there. And when you put it on them, it's just got to be within a reasonable time. But they at least have to know that they're going to get something for the time that they're investing with you. Because otherwise, they're going to look at you as a non-buyer. And as a non-buyer, they will get you back. They will sit there and listen to all the shit that you have to sell, sipping their coffee or sipping their tea, right? Say, oh, yeah, girl, I'm going to be that kind of man. Your ex what? Oh, yes. And then you put it on them because now you're really investing yourself in them because he's spending time with you. You're liking the things he's saying. You're liking what he's doing. And then, boom, he gets the box and he's out the door because guess what? A lot of guys, they need sex, but sex isn't as important. Let me break that down. They need sex as in that's what we're programmed to get. But after we get that post-nut clarity, what else you got? What else is going on? Right? And on top of that, goddamn, she made me wait 3 months for this. She made me wait 9 months for this? Like and it ain't even that good? Or this is just mediocre? Or this is just like all these other brides I've been dealing with? Oh, well, I mean, let me go find somebody else who's willing to get on the program. And that's what happens. They do this one of 2 ways. The guys who are good with women, who are confident and whatnot, they'll just leave you. They'll just ghost you. It's over. They're gone. Right? They won't even waste that time. But the guys who box don't come with that easy, They'll fuck around with you for here and there for a
Stay
little bit.
there, stay
They'll
there.
keep you right around. Y'all think y'all ladies are good at keeping dudes around the pinky? Dudes know how to do that. So they'll keep you around for a little bit. Then they run into that little thing. She's young. She's vibrant. Her eyes are just full of hope. And best of all, she ain't afraid to put that thing on him. And all of a sudden, now he's hooked. Because now she's going everything at him. Plus, she wasn't afraid to go there right then. And then he leaves you. And then you wonder why, not you particularly, but we've seen this all the time with females and women who've been with dudes for 5, 6 damn years. The guy haven't taken things to the next level. All of a sudden, he dumps her, goes to the next girl he was probably cheating on her with, and then marries her and wipes her up. How many times do we hear those stories? Because these kind of situations happen. These kind of nonsense. When women do these kind of things, this is why. I'm not saying all women who get in themselves in that situation do, but most women, when they're in that situation, either play this game or don't figure out what else it is they have to offer, or they haven't really made themselves indispensable from that particular relationship. So when they see another person who is a younger, tighter model coming through, right? And the newer 2021, 2022 BMW scrolling right by and is willing to give them a test drive, well, they're going to fall in love with that right away. So this is where women lose. So some of you guys over here saying hoes are winning. They're not winning. Matter of fact, they're losing from even right now in their younger years, and they're going to lose big time in their older years. They're losing in their younger years because they're wasting their precious time on non-buyers. They lose in their older years because they end up wasting more of their time on, guess what? Non-buyers. This is so when you say women are winning, women are not winning. In the moment, they feel like they're winning, and y'all out there watching from the outside looking in. Oh, well, she's having sex with all these different people, and she's just getting all these money from all these different people, so she can win, right? Getting ran through. But y'all see that as winning. She's not winning. She's losing. She's losing from the point she started doing what she's doing when she decided not to lay down a plan for her life in the younger years. She's going to lose from that moment all the way up into the top. Till she gets older, she's going to lose. So it's not because, listen, when y'all sitting there buying into the ideology that women lose when they hit the wall, 30, 35, 45 years old, that's a goddamn fucking lie. That is a god. I know 21-year-olds that have smashed the wall right now. I know 18-year-olds that have smashed the wall right now. I know this. It's a goddamn lie. Women are losing right now because they don't have the guidance. And when people try to tell them what's up, they shut that shit down because they've been convinced that the continuous L's they've been taking is a W. Look at Brittany Renner. Brittany Renner is a prime example of this. She convinced herself that the L that she was taking was a W. And then to come to find out, we all saw it was a loss. So go ahead. Anyone else had to add something?
Yeah, to add to the point right there, man, it's just, you couldn't say it any better. Like, it feels like they're winning today, but you got to understand why they're saying is winning. Because in today's society, we promote being a hoe is cool. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. All these young girls starting from high school. I'm gonna start at 18. I don't even want to go there. You know? Starting at the end of high school, which is 18, all the way to like around 33, 34. What is being promoted all over the place on YouTube, on Instagram, on TV? That being a hoe is cool. And there they put these females in your face. These females getting this crazy ass fucking child support. Oh, you see such and such getting $30,000, $40,000 child support. But what they don't understand is it's only a few girls, a super small number, because only a super small number making that kind of money anyway. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? So they see it as winners. That's why you see everybody faking until you make it on Instagram, on Facebook, or on YouTube. That's why everybody think they're winning.
Exactly, and it's so easy to call that out. It's not even funny. Where the Crown Well, shout out to you. Hey, it's been a long time, man. What is up? Shout out to you. Welcome back, brother. Welcome back. Pink Caramel. She says, oh no, just no, girl. I'm assuming you're a woman. Girl, that's not what I'm saying. This is good. Having standards is good because when you let them know what you're looking for up front. Saying, hey, I'm looking for a relationship. Hey, I'm looking to be put on girlfriend status. That's right. Some of all, we're just saying girlfriend, boyfriend, girlfriend, not realizing that girlfriend's an actual status, a status on the path of the way to becoming a fiance, which is another status, which is on the path of the way to becoming a wife. So when you are looking for that being a girlfriend, where you're looking and seeking that title from the man who's a potential prospect, and you're asking those qualifying questions, right? What's your love languages? What do you like? Words of affirmation? Do you like physical touch? Right? What do you like? Right? What kind of characteristics do you value in a person? All right. If someone would, if the people around you, were to describe you in 3 different words, right? What are those words that we use to describe you? Questions like this. And people should just be asking. I mean, those are just like off the top of my head, but there's thousands of them, and these questions are so fucking open-ended. And based on the answer, you can catch a bullshitter from miles away. I caught a girl up with this question once because she came at me with that whole relationship nonsense, right? And then I said, if people around you would describe you, give me 3 words that they would describe you with. Oh, you go first. Why? I can't answer that. Just go first. I want to see what your answer is. Boom, red flag right there. What, you don't know aspects or quality about yourself that you can talk about? No one around you in your friend circle, any other place, have anything positive about a word that they say about you? Really? You can't think that off the top of your head? Really? Really? Oh, that's a big red flag. So the fact of the matter is, Pink, it's okay to have your standards, but when you have your standards, what kind of questions are you using to vet people? Sometimes people don't even know the kind of questions to ask the person sitting in front of them. That's the problem. So when we think we're vetting, we're really not. So I'm not really talking about the sex part. That's not it. Those type of questions will help you understand if you're dealing with a man or a boy. A boy doesn't understand how to answer questions like that because a boy doesn't know himself. A man does. So if you really want a man, you have to be unapologetic and step with that pressure and demand what you want and say, hey, listen, I'm going to ask these questions, all right, and we're going to keep it flowing in the conversation, but in the back of my mind, I'm taking things and I'm putting in my back pocket. I'm taking answers and I'm screening them and I'm putting in my back pocket. Males too. But this is how you set your standards to make sure that you're not dealing with or wasting your time, especially if you're a woman, on a non-buyer, someone who's just going to end up shopping you after they're done taking all that what you have to offer because you forgot to ask the questions that really mattered in the first place. So it's good to have standards, and that's just not even on the sex part, because the sex part, if you do this right, will come when you feel comfortable, because ultimately that's when it happens, when you're comfortable enough, right? So that this is just to be real. When a woman's comfortable enough with you and she trusts you, right, depending on no matter what this situation you're in, she's gonna have sex with you, right? She's gonna find you attractive enough to sleep with. So that part is up in the air, and it just comes down to feelings and the moments, right? It can be any moment where that can lead up to that. So we're not even talking about that, but to understand that before you get to the point to dealing with that guy, what do you know about him, and are they in it for the long haul for what you're looking for? The problem is a lot of modern women, they get in and they're not asking the right questions, or they're not asking those questions at all. They're looking at materialistic things. They're looking at the suit. They're looking at the tie. They're looking at the phone. They're looking at the cars. They're looking at what he's drinking. They look at where he lives. They're looking at outside things and says, okay, that's a man, not realizing these guys can't even answer the simplest of questions about their own character. So that's what I meant, Pink Karma. I hope you didn't take offense to that. But if you want to put it in more realistic terms, right? This is literally how you screen for red flags. This is the same kind of questions. Like that other question I was saying, hey, listen, Mr. Customer, you're coming in here today. Is there anything, if I get you every single thing that you're looking for here today, right? And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but if I get you the right car, the right mileage, the right price point, what is stopping you from buying today? That's how you catch niggas on bullshit. Because then you get 1 or 2 different answers. And that's what winning is all about. Women have to stop selling. Stop all that bullshit. All this, the April Masons of the world, all these goddamn women out here who are trying to teach all these fake femininity, they're teaching you how to sell. They're not teaching y'all ladies how to win. Because if they were teaching y'all how to win, y'all would have been winning years ago. But they're teaching y'all how to sell. And the way they're doing that is sell yourself on your degrees, sell yourself on all these different accomplishments that don't really even matter to the goddamn prospect that you're looking at. Because you're so goddamn focused on yourselves that you're not paying attention to what the prospect wants. And this goes for men too. How many men you know out there that don't even know how to keep a goddamn woman? A lot of men know how to get women, right? But they don't know how to keep them. They don't know how to keep relationships. That's the issue. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm about to check out here real quick.
Yeah, we're about to close things down in 10 minutes, but go ahead.
I'm about to chime out. But one question I always wanted to ask you: you speak fluent Yoruba or Igbo?
I don't speak Igbo. Like I understand it. So my mom, like my family, we grew up in a weird situation where instead of speaking the language, she always did a mixture of both. So she would speak the language, but also like simultaneously going to English. So that growing up, I was able to kind of understand what she kind of meant. So when I got older, because we weren't taught to speak the language, we can only understand it. So I can go in a situation in a room, everyone's speaking Igbo around me. I know exactly what they're saying, but like I can't speak it back to him. I can just respond back in English, if that makes sense. And it's crazy because I actually caught up one of my mom's friends with that once where when I was younger, she came over and she was speaking in Igbo and I was just like looking at both of them like back and forth. They were talking and she was like, oh, in Igbo, she was talking, oh, your son, he doesn't know how to speak it. My mom was like, nah, he doesn't. And then she was like, oh, okay, I mean, he's probably hard-headed because I was a hard-headed kid back then, but she's probably hard-headed, didn't want to learn it, is he trying to learn it now? Like, nah, he's like, oh. So she was talking all this shit and I'm like, no, it's like, and I said, it's not because I'm not hard-headed or anything like that. It's just that I've been taking the time to learn it, anything like that. And she was looking at me like, what? And my mom was like, oh, yeah. I said he couldn't speak it. I didn't say he couldn't understand it.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bernie. Was that the question?
Yeah, that was it. So I'm about to check out. Peace.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for hopping on. Real talk. This was a great discussion. Thank you. Go ahead, Poppy.
Man, yeah, like you said, bro, this is a good discussion there.
Absolutely.
Hopefully the channel should continue talking about developing social skills every Monday or whatever day you decide is your problem.
Absolutely. No,
So
I go ahead. My bad.
Like that, people get in a rhythm of what to expect coming next and how to even initiate this conversation with people. That's important because you can tell them whatever you like. We can tell them do this, but they need to actually do it themselves.
Yeah.
So the only way you become better is practice. Practice makes perfect. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. And the thing is, here's the thing, right? Because we can talk about some of these fake gurus all that until the fucking roosters come home and to roost. But ultimately, the point is to show you guys what in the hell I'm talking about, right? I don't listen. All this stuff I just dropped here, there are people who will pay you that you have to pay. There's sales coaches out there that you have to pay thousands of dollars to even get that first part of the knowledge I just showed you. There are people you have to pay money to get that too. And sometimes even these courses that you pay money to get what I just told y'all, they can't even include what that is because a lot of them, they don't have the real world experience. So I think instead of just talking about how horrible some of these programs are, I'm just going to show you side by side. Let y'all know I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I've been in high ticket sales. I've closed deals worth thousands of dollars. I've worked as part of teams that have closed deals with hundreds of thousands of dollars. Right? You want to talk about private banking? I've worked as a team with people who got high net worth that they don't just need money or they don't need financial advice from one financial advisor. They need about like 10 plus 2 bankers. That's the kind of money they're rolling with, right? They need the banker to, put together something over here to send over to those guys over there and they can move it around each other. And then you got a couple lawyers involved before they make a decision. B2B sales, another thing I've been involved with, right? The same principles apply. So I think that we want a lot more men to be successful, but we need to give you guys the tools to do it. And sales is the absolute truth to do it. There's absolute tools to make it happen, right? It's not just sitting there and fucking trying to bet on somebody else's course. No, you're betting on yourself. You're betting on what you can do. So we're going to keep breaking these things down. We get into interpersonal communication skills, right? And I'm going to start doing more of these every single Monday, and we're going to start doing more educational stuff, introducing that to the program, because here's the thing. What I'm realizing, first of all, we're big enough now where we can kind of start doing some of this stuff, right? But if you guys notice, even a lot of the stuff that we did, even the stuff that where we would talk about like some of these guys or we clown some of these guys, right? A lot of, if you paid attention, there was interpersonal communication knowledge dropped in every single one of those videos, every single one of those. And the people who missed it, they missed it. But that's why I always say, did you get the fucking message? Because I slip those messages in every single way that I can. But now we're big enough, we can make a whole show about it just its own. So this show is going to be just completely dedicated to teaching you guys how to be complete sales beasts. But not just sales beasts, but goddamn interpersonal communication monsters. And that's what we're going to teach you guys here today. You guys are all right now prospects. Right now, every single one of you in the chat, every single one of you in the comment section who has this issue, who has the issue of dealing with non-buyers, and you are tired of dealing with non-buyers and you're here, you are all prospects. And we're going to transform you guys from prospects into bona fide sales demons. KS, shout out to you. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Duke, you can still learn it. I am 31. I'm learning Spanish and Haitian Creole to speak languages. To speak a language, think in it. Yeah, that's true. I can still learn Igbo. Don't get me wrong. I still learn it. And I'm planning to actually because one of my bigger goals. Oh, I gotta mute you, Boppy. I don't know if it's like a repeat. I don't know if you hear that. No. Oh, you got that taken care of. But one of my bigger goals, I end up wanting to be a tribal chief, man. I want to be a tribal chief. Absolutely. So I got to learn how to speak the language of my people. Now, don't I? So at some point, I'm definitely going to have to pick things up and, get in that book and do it. My grandma actually tried to teach me that. Fucking God bless her soul. Before she passed away, it was cancer. But she tried to teach me that. But, when I saw the language written in for the first time, because all my life I heard it spoken to me, but I've never seen it written. And my grandma tried to teach me written. I was just looking, I was reading it. It was almost like reading hieroglyphics on the paper. I was just like, I don't know what any of this is. Like, you see what I'm saying? So I'm like, it's gonna take a minute. I'm really gonna have to dedicate for it. But as long as I have the focus, I ain't worried about shit. I'm gonna learn that language and I'm gonna go back to my people and I'm gonna speak it to them and lead them in the right direction. That's the ultimate goal. Yeah. Y'all think like, listen, man, there's more to this life. There's more to this life than just sitting here making money. All right. There's more to this life than just buying the nicest cars. Don't get me wrong. Those things are fun. I've driven lots of nice cars. Okay. I don't get me wrong. There's a lot more to that. And the most things that you can do that give you the most fulfillment in life. And I'm glad that at an early age in life, I figured this out. So I'm not falling into a damn trap, is that I need to give back, but not just to myself, to my family, and to eventually my people, but not even just my people in terms of Nigerians, but to people that look just like me, people who share the same skin color, the same reflection, the same struggles that I share, the people who want to be go-getters. When I put together sales teams, you know what the kind of people I go for? I go for the people that dealt with bullshit in life. I go for people who literally have faced some kind of adversity, whether it's they had some kind of shit on their record, or they got some kind of issue with speeding or something with their license or whatever the fuck it is. I go through people, I go seek those people out. And the reason why I do is because those people, are currently facing adversity in their lives and they're dealing with it. So they already know when it comes to a tough situation, it's no problems. And typically those people are the biggest goddamn go-getters. The worst ones are the ones who come educated. The worst ones that need the most hand-holding are the ones that come from schools. The one that comes from all these different places because they goddamn have been in institutions for so damn long. When you put them in reality, they don't know what the fuck's going on. So you got to hold their hand through the process. That's a waste of my time. It's a waste of my money and resources, and I can't have that. This is all about business. I'm sorry. Welcome to the goddamn patriarchy. It's how we do shit around here. So you're going to either have to do the program or I'm going to have to fire you. It is what it is. No hard feelings. It's just business. So those kind of people, the people who are used to doing and dealing with the adversity and coming through with it on the top, those are the people I look for. And those are the people I try to get on my team because those are the people that get it. And they're not going to crumple at the first sign of a challenge. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, and we'll start closing out. It's almost 2:30 hours and 30 minutes we've been at this mug.
Yeah, this is important, bro. This is important. People need to hear this, man. You gotta look at it like this: if 2, 3, 4, 5 people get some knowledge out of this, we did our job. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
did our job. That's all it matters, man. Some people listen, some people don't, but just get the points that you think that you can apply into your life.
Exactly.
So it can make your life better.
Exactly.
Whether it can be sales, it can be real life, it can be relationship, it can be at your job, it can be with your relationship with your parents. Who knows?
Yeah. So, parents is a big thing.
Yes.
They don't realize that. And we'll do an episode on that at some point, right? And you got to forgive your mamas and your daddies, because I went on this podcast a while ago. Well, it wasn't a while ago, but it was a couple of days ago, right? And to me, that's a long time. I don't pay attention to my days like that. And some things were said, some things were misconstrued, and we'll cover that in a different episode. But overall, what I was trying to get across on that panel, before people were losing their minds because you talk great about women, is that, listen, man, people, what you got to understand is that people are there's nothing else that is gonna work for people without them actually going out there and freaking trying. First of all, right? Like I said before, the riskiest thing that you can do is fucking play it safe. Side 3 says, or KS says, what up? Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about me. Nah, ain't no Kevin Samuels over here. I was just reading, I'm like, what's that?
Yeah, I read that earlier.
Yeah. I forgot where I was going with this. My bad. But we were. Oh, there it is. There it is. So
About the last time you spoke about your people.
Oh yeah. So the thing is, a lot of times, I think people get the wrong idea of what you meant, right? Because the episode that I was gonna do on that panel was y'all need to forgive your mamas and your daddies. That's what it is. Y'all need to forgive your moms and your dads because y'all don't realize how much of an influence they have on your adult life right now, or the lack of influence that they have, even if they weren't there, right? And how much you guys won't realize how much you need to hear the fact that your parents care about you and they still love you. I don't think you guys understand how much that means. I don't think you guys understand how much of the mental toll that it takes off, how much of a release that you get just by going back to your parents, the people that you've had issues with, the people that you've emulated a lot of things from, that you've been trying to, please, but maybe it didn't work out, or people who you've been contentious with and fighting with, and they didn't give you the best life that you thought you would have had. You have to go back there and you have to go and forgive them, because your life won't really fully move on unless you go back and forgive and say, Mama, I know you didn't mean to do whatever it is that you did, right? I know you didn't really understand that, while I was growing up, a lot of times when you were screaming, when you were yelling, when you were doing these different things, right, it affected me. And me going away from dad and me not feeling like I can come to you to ask those questions about dad, right, and then just hearing you talk the way you talked about dad, it made me resent you. And for that, I understand that it's not your fault. You can't help yourself. And I forgive you. You move the fuck along. You don't expect for them. I'm sorry. You don't expect. I forgive you back. No. You get that shit off your chest and you move the fuck on. Same thing with your dad. You say, get it off your damn chest. I know you weren't there, or you were there, and I wish you could have been a bigger presence. But it's okay. You did what you had to. It's not your fault. I forgive you. You move the fuck on. Sometimes you don't realize how much your parents actually really need to hear that. Sometimes you don't realize that your parents need to actually hear it from the person they've been raising, that, hey, this is how I've been feeling this whole entire time, man. You thought you were doing a good job? Nah, I actually resented you. For a while, I did. Matter of fact, a lot of anger problems I had, they were because of you. A lot of emotional problems I have, the instability, the daddy issues, it was because of you. But I'm not going to hold against you. I refuse to let it control my life. I am moving the fuck on. I'm moving. I'm going. I'm gone. And that's what we need to start doing. But if you look at now with a bunch of children, we look at a bunch of all these people out here with all these traumas, all this anger and mental illness that's going on. And we don't realize that majority of that is due to the fact that we come from bad backgrounds. And that was another point I was trying to make on that panel. You could understand that because apparently mental illness doesn't matter, right? We come from bad backgrounds, and sometimes we need to address the demon in our fucking closets. We need to address the fucking demon lurking in our souls. We have to confront it. Not saying destroy it, because 9 times out of 10, it's never going to go away. It's always going to be a part of you, right? But you need to learn how to live with it, understand it, study it. Kind of like the patterns of people. You study the patterns of that other side. You understand where it came from, who it is. There's an old saying, man. I was reading this, and I don't want to get all biblical on you, but it was in a book, and it was talking about King Solomon, right? And King Solomon was one of the most wisest and powerful kings. But another power that he had within him, he had the power to control demons. He had the power to control demons. And the way he did it, right, the way he was able to do it was he knew the demon by name. And as long as he knew the devil by name, he called the devil out by its name, and he controlled it. He owned it. He controlled the soul. He willed it and commanded it to divulge or let it do whatever its bidding was. Matter of fact, that demon ended up working and doing what Solomon wanted until his task was over with. So in order to control the darkest aspects of your lives, you got to go ahead and seek that out and call it out by name. Seek out where it's coming from. And once you own it by name, once you've named it, once you put a label on it, it can't control you because you control it.
That's real.
So a lot of times, you see, I'm telling you, people don't know this. People don't understand this kind of knowledge. We're talking about, man, I read all kinds of books, right? I may not read a whole lot of stuff relating to like dating because I don't consider myself a dating coach. Other people outside this space do, right? That's fine. I'll take it. I will be the hero that this space doesn't need or does need, but doesn't deserve, I guess. Is that the saying from Batman, right? I will be the motherfucking dating coach that y'all niggas don't deserve, but absolutely need. That's right, people, right? Because a lot of what I say comes from sales, comes from my real world experience. I don't need to buy flashy cars. I don't need to show you guys all that. Maybe someday I would. Maybe one day. Maybe if I'm feeling like doing a vlog or something like that, I'll show you guys a little bit about the lives. That'll probably be on another channel. Right? Maybe because I know some of y'all are fiending for that. But I don't need to do that. I don't need to come out here and say I'm a world-class trainer. I'm a world-class this and that. I don't need to come out here and say that because, A, you know I'm fit by just looking at me. You already know that. So I don't need to sit there and say I don't work out. I don't need to tell you that. I don't even sit there and give you guys workout programs. I don't need to do any of that. I'm just sitting here letting y'all know this is what it is. If you want to be fit, but you don't know where to start with 10 push-ups. Start with something easy but small and simple to complete. And build upon that. And as you keep building upon that, you realize that what you initially thought was hard gets easier over time. All right? It doesn't matter how deep the pain goes. It doesn't know how, the wound, how crazy it was at that time period that you were in. It all gets better with time. All right? Everything gets healed with time. And you just got to understand, as long as you have in the back of your mind that, this shit's not permanent. In time, it will get better. Nigga, you're going to be all right. A lot of y'all out there who are struggling, dealing with mental issues, dealing with a lot of these different stuff, as long as you realize that this shit's not permanent, because guess what? That's one of the fundamental laws of this entire plane that we exist on, that everything's always changing. Nothing's ever going to stay the same. At some point, everything as we know will die. That's a change in itself. That's something that's always guaranteed to happen, that nothing is going on in your life right now. If you can't make rent, you can't pay the bills, you can't figure out where the next meal is going to come from. It's not permanent. Y'all need to start going away. And this is another fundamental idea before I leave with you with this, right? Y'all need to start going away at every single situation, interaction you go in, saying no matter what, I want y'all to say this in your head, say this in the chat right now, say it in the comment section. I want to see this repeated, right? No matter what happens to me, as long as I got breath in my lungs, I'm breathing, and I got fire in my soul, meaning I got the motivation. I got the motivation and determination to go out and still get it because I'm alive. I will be okay. Say it with me. As long as I have fire in my soul and breath in my lungs, I will be okay. That's literally it. Sometimes y'all don't realize that some of the little things that you need to survive, the challenges you're going through, is just that. Just the knowledge that you will be okay, that this shit's not permanent. So if you guys start getting used to and acclimated to that kind of knowledge, man, y'all be out here dominating the world. Because I'm going to tell you this, there are a lot of people out there right this very moment who are short-term thinkers, and they're not going to be on the same level because they don't have access to this kind of information. So I'm going to give you the last word, Poppy, and then we're going to close it out.
Yeah, I need everybody to share this information with everybody, Share the link. Share my man Duke channel. Subscribe to my channel, and let's grow the community. Let's continue growing. Let's continue building. And 2022 is around the corner, so let's just make sure everybody stay tapped in. And we got some better and more knowledge to be dropping real soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. Pink Caramel, we got the email, all that stuff. I think Poppy put the link in there, but check the description too as well. It's all in there. Yeah, listen, man. Listen, I don't know if you guys understand, but we have a brand new community within this manosphere space, man. And something I'm telling you, I've been to the depths of the manosphere space, man. I've been deep, and I'm still exploring. right? Because I want you all to realize the manosphere isn't a wide casting net, but it's a very deep hole. It's a deep hole that you can jump right into, and the different elements of that hole. And as you get deeper, the more extreme that they go. But I've traveled to these certain spots. I've been there, and I've seen that our community is very, very unique, people. Our community is very different. It's very unique. We're an amalgamation of all these different people from all these different backgrounds, from all these different channels that aren't even in this space, but they're coming in because they want to understand more about the space, and they're here and they're all right with having these discussions. We're brand freaking new, people. We got something special here, and it's gonna keep growing because these are the conversations that are needed. They're gonna counteract the bullshit that's happening. That has been plaguing the manosphere space, the black manosphere space, the white manosphere space, all these different spaces for this goddamn long. The bitching, the whining, the complaining, all that shit's done because we got real dudes now, real content creators coming into this space, sharing their experiences and showing these fake motherfuckers that life ain't always got to be online. And sometimes what's online doesn't reflect what reality is. And we're here to teach y'all what reality really is. So do the best you can. Any guys that you see on the panel, any guys that we do collab with, Pink, all these different guys that you see come up on here, support them, man. Support their channel. If it's vibes with what you're saying, if it vibes with what you're feeling, if it vibes with what you know on the inside, your human lie detector, BP. If it vibes with that, go ahead and like the channel, follow them, and go from there. Because the more of these channels that we have popping up here in this community, the more we're able to hold some of these people accountable, keep them on their toes, and making sure that the community is the best space for everyone else. All right. So with that being said, subscribe to my man Poppy. Subscribe to Bernie L when he gets his channel going. Right. Subscribe to Bernie too as well. You guys see him. He's out here putting in work. Also, we'll definitely be looking for new moderators too. So that's going to be coming down the pipeline. So anyone who's looking to get that young wrench in, yeah, we're making applications, baby. So I just keep that in mind. So with that being said, I will catch you guys on the next episode. Hey, by the way, one more thing, guys. You guys are asking for shorter videos, right? Dude, I'm tired of your long ass streaming. You got to make it shorter, right? Listen, we drop short reaction videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right. Matter of fact, Don specifically drops reaction videos within the next 10 to within about 10 to 15 minutes, usually 20 minutes if they're great. So if you guys want a shorter bite-size piece of this, go ahead and check out and look for the videos that he drops on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So that way you guys get to know more of Don and see kind of his perspective. But then you get some of these content digested in a shorter bite-sized piece. Okay. So yeah, make sure we have content coming out. Support Don, the channel, and all that stuff that we're building, the videos that he drops. So make sure you show your support there. I know you guys love me. I get it, but there's Duke and Don. Okay, there's Don in there. So when we drop the video Thursdays, just make sure that you check it out. And the only way you know that the video is being dropped is to hit the like button, hit the sub button, and that young bell notification